The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. It is your boy Scott. It is Friday, January 26, 2024. We're coming live to you from Los Angeles, California, from Atlanta, Georgia, and also Dallas, Texas. Man, we are here to break down everything in this past week of sports, get y'all ready for this upcoming weekend in sports. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarbChairScott. You can follow the Barbers Chat Network at BarbChairNet on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow H&B Media TV at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram, man. And of course, subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. That right there is where we have all our exclusives. You get your I'm Not Gonna Hold You Overtime, which is our local hour, which we do after the show when it's uploaded on every Monday and Friday night. And of course, our midweek show, I'm Not Gonna Hold You Halftime. We got a new edition this past week. Me and the homie Greg Braggs Jr. from CHGO Sports. We had a full Bears hour, man. So get in tune with that if you want to hear us talk about everything going on in Bears land. Of course, we will be having overtime later after today. Me and Dante will be breaking down everything in Chicago sports. So look out for that, man. This is 4 years, man. RIP to one of the GOATs, Kobe Bean Bryant, man. Of course, his daughter G Bryant, and of course the lives of all the other people who were lost in that tragic helicopter crash 4 years ago, man. Time be fucking flying, dog. It's really kind of crazy that it's been 4 years already, man. I remember that day like it was yesterday, man. So as usual, prayers and thoughts out to Vanessa and the entire Bryant family out there, man. We're gonna keep holding it down for y'all. But let's bring the crew in. JR Bang is not here today. Bang is not here because he is off being a family man. And so he will be joining us back on Monday. Mikey's still on IR. Our boy is sick, but he confirmed that he will be back all next week on the show. So Mikey be back for y'all. But right now I've got my homie Dante. He is the president of Barbers Chat Network. He is also a co-producer of this great program that you are watching. You can follow him on Twitter at OctoberZone. We've got Courtney here. Courtney, you can follow her 1-800-CALLER-BRO on both Twitter and Instagram, man. If you are a Cowboys fan, follow with caution. And of course, we've got the one and only Pat Vito in the house. He is one half of the owners of this great media company that this show is being on right now, H&B Media TV. You can follow him at Pavy World on each and every platform, man. He's got some good music coming for y'all. Visit PavyWorld.com, man. And Pat, we got a little announcement to make about the show. You're going to be having your own segment on here with us. Of course, There's Cousin Dan Fridays. So Pav will be joining us each and every Monday as we're going to have it. It's called Weekend in the Association. We're going to be recapping everything from the past weekend in the NBA and things that we got to look forward to in the NBA coming up this week. And we also got another segment too. I feel like the Holy Trinity of people who I talk to all the time. Shout out my guy Mike at Pillars. We will have an announcement on that in about a week too. So we got another segment for that as well. But Pav, man, how you feeling? How you feel to be a part of the show regularly?
I'm good. It's always fun. I always enjoy coming on. Obviously, like you said, football season. Well, we said it beforehand, but football season is ending. I'm always the guy who watches a whole bunch of basketball like every night. I'm watching. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. Courtney, how you feeling? What's going on? What's going on in Dallas right now?
Oh, not much. It's about as ugly and as rainy as it has been all week. I'm ready for some sunshine, but yeah, not too much going on. Gonna go watch the hockey tomorrow as a fan, which will be real nice. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. And since it is all black quarterback weekend, we gotta go to our Morehouse brother here, Dante. How's it going, G? What's going on, brother?
I am upset. I've been upset since about the 1 o'clock hour when I found that DeMar Hamlin was fucking comeback player of the year. Nothing crazy, but again, that is some bullshit. But we're gonna talk about it later. I don't even know. We're not gonna talk about it. We don't need to talk about it.
No, I will be talking it later because it's part of my Goofy Mog of the week later on in the show.
Man,
because as soon as you tweeted that I had the mutual disgust, me and this man were called assholes almost 20 weeks ago. But not everybody laughing. Everybody, we were called everything in the book when we said this at the beginning of the season.
Bro, when I said stop the Make-A-Wish shit, everybody called me crazy. Now look.
And not looking
running fourth down plays, trying to get the nigga on the SPs. You
try to get the SPs moment.
Crazy.
That was
a fireable offense.
So that's how I know people aren't as mad anymore. Because I didn't have anybody calling me out my name on Instagram or TikTok. So I'm glad y'all getting on our side, man. But let's start off with how I start off every episode of I'm Not Gonna Hold You with my sound off. This week, we're gonna sound off. Shout out my man Big Waz of the Ringer. You can check everything he got going on, man. We have a quote that we've been saying in our 10 years of being friends, and that is life is a lot of things in life don't matter. The one thing in life that does matter is being right. And I have the privilege and to being right in this particular thing. I feel like I've been the old man yelling at the cloud for about 2-3 years when it comes to streaming and sports streaming. I've been telling everybody there's going to be a time and point where there's going to be regular sports streaming, and it's not going to be something where it's going to be just an option. It's going to become a necessity of what you need to do. And of course, we already saw with the playoff game 2 weeks ago during Super Wildcard weekend between the Dolphins and the Chiefs, which had 25 million new subscribers for Peacock. We all know they're probably going to do double of that next year. Of course, we all know the NBA is in like their beta testing right now. I'm trying to see how people watching the NBA on TNT through HBO Max. I wouldn't be surprised if we get 1 or 2 playoff games that are exclusively on Max this postseason. But the news that came out, I think it was Monday, I don't know if it was Tuesday. It wasn't Monday because we talked about it on the show on Tuesday. Is that WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, or if you're somebody who watched it back in the greatest era, which was the Attitude Era, you call it WWF. But WWE made a massive deal with Netflix, aka the only streaming company actually making any goddamn money right now, as they will be moving the number one, probably the number one most watched cable show of all time, that is WWE Raw, has been on TV for over 30 years now. It's going to be moving exclusively to Netflix January 2025, and this is crazy, a 10-year deal worth $500 million per year. So everybody who sits up there on USA Network and watches Monday Night Raw, they're going to be going strictly to Netflix on that one, man. And not only that, TKO, which is a company that is owned by Ari Emanuel, who owns UFC and also the WWE, bought the WWE, I think, about 8 months ago. This was a power move because The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, is now the head of the board of directors of TKO and was at the New York Trade Exchange, with Triple H and with, Nick Khan, who was the president of the WWE, to announce this move. I don't watch wrestling like I used to, but from a business perspective, I think this is an amazing move for the WWE, and it's amazing news for Netflix as well, as they are becoming the only streamer who's making money. You see these other popular TV shows like Insecure, who was sold from HBO to Netflix for licensing, so HBO can make some money. We just saw it this week with the announcement that all 6 seasons of Sex and the City are going to be on Netflix now because HBO Max once again needs the money. So when you have something like WWE Raw, you're going to have even more subscribers because people watch wrestling all the time, and it's not going to be something where they're subscribing for one event and then they're unsubscribing. This is going to be an every Monday thing, in which is what you keep the subscribers in. I'm not saying that this is going to happen right away, but I see a world within the next 3 to 5 years where the Super Bowl is going to be on some streaming network, whether it's Apple, whether it's Amazon Prime, whether it's motherfucking Netflix, something. I do think there will be a world where the Super Bowl is on streaming. Everybody's gonna bitch and complain about it, but everybody's gonna watch because it's the goddamn Super Bowl. We can sit up here and talk about whether it's right or whether it's wrong. I have no personal opinion on that. I understand we're in a climate in America right now where everything is expensive as shit. I mean, eggs are damn near $10. So you got to pay for everything. But I'm just telling y'all, I tried to tell y'all a couple years ago, this was coming, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Another thing I think might be coming too is they're going to start putting people on contracts. There was already rumor about ESPN Plus and Disney putting people on a 3-year contract for like a Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. So a lot of things going on in the media world, man. So that's something I want to start off with because that is a massive deal. Do y'all have any thoughts on this before we move on to our first topic?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting to a point where you see the Yankees with their own network, the Dodgers with their own network. Everybody sees the value in streaming, and so one thing that we aren't taking into consideration. I heard a lot of this at work because I work with a lot of older conservative whites, like people that felt like Monday Night Raw was an institution, like on TV. Like the fact that now that they have to buy. There's one guy, he was pissed. He said, "I'll never watch Monday Night Raw again." Like he was livid. You feel me? So you have
that
those
nigga
people.
line. As soon as The Rock and Roman Reigns get ready for WrestleMania, that nigga be tuned in.
Absolutely no, but you have people who feel like that, but at the same time, like you said, it's only a matter of time where you see the NBA where they're getting ready to offer packages where you can just have a team, like have your team, like that's going to be available. Like the New York, I think the Yes Network, they getting to a point where you're going to be able to just lock in and buy Knicks games, the Rangers, all the teams is under the Yes umbrella. But it's getting to that point, and this happened with the whole net neutrality when all of that shit happened, and we were like, everybody's like, oh fuck cable, and now this is what we got. We really should have stuck with cable because now you're gonna have to pay for everything individually. I mean, it's all gonna add up to something that was even more than what you were paying in the first place.
Definitely. Courtney Pavy, y'all got any take on this or no?
Nah, that I'm right there with Dante. The whole idea of streaming was to get away from the cable model, and now we're right back at square one all over again. I'm over this shit. I don't even care no more. If I can't share somebody's, then I guess I'm not watching.
I mean, for me, every industry is changing. I mean, the music industry changed, the movie industry changed. Like every industry has changed rapidly over the past 10 years. So it makes sense. I mean, it's a way for them to. I mean, obviously, we're in the business. Everybody's in the business of making money. This is the way for them to make more money. If you tell me you're gonna pay me $500 million per year to put some on Netflix, I'm putting it on Netflix. And then also, it's not network television, so maybe you have more creative control completely over like what you're doing. So I mean, it's just the world we're in. Like everything is changing, bro. Everything is changing at a very, very rapid pace. We're leaving one generation and fastly moving to the next one. So it kind of just is what it is.
The creative control part is something I think about. That's a good point. WWE might be able to push the limit a little bit more than they usually do, even though I still think, forever, even when I was watching wrestling, it was mainly kids, but it wasn't marketed towards kids. It was marketed towards, teenagers, people in their early 20s. I learned a lot of my vocabulary from WWE, like words I wasn't supposed to know because of rap music and WWF. So they market a little more towards children now, but I do wonder if that's going to change with it being on Netflix, man. But that's something we're going to pay attention to next year, man. So let's get into our first topic, man. It is championship weekend, man. It is championship Sunday. Will be on this Sunday. No football tomorrow for the first time in 2 months. I almost forgot about like damn. Like we've had football every Saturday since weekend of Thanksgiving, and we have none of that. We have a whole slate of NBA games. So I will be watching that tomorrow. Triple header on ABC. That I think should be good. Even though I want them to stop putting Lakers and Warriors on TV. Like that shit is not entertaining anymore. Like it's just not that they gonna have the Knicks and the Heat, and then I see the Knicks and the Heat. I'm like, is Jimmy Butler playing? That's the first time I ask. Every time I see a national TV Heat game. And then Embiid versus Jokic should be good. So that's the NBA's got their day tomorrow, but championship Sunday. On Sunday, we are in the NFL's Final Four. We have the number 1 seeded Baltimore Ravens. We'll be hosting the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, everybody over there. And in the NFC, you've got the number 1 seeded San Francisco 49ers, barely dodging the Green Bay Packers last Saturday. They will be hosting the hot upstart Detroit Lions. That is Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, the right St. Brown, as me and Bang like to call him, because the Bears have the wrong St. Brown. They have the right brother over there. And, of course, Dan Campbell, or Man Campbell, as I like to call him, they've got everybody riding over there for them. A big year for Michigan football, man. So let's start with the first game. First of all, I don't know why the fuck this game is first. I'm guessing it's some deal that the AFC has with CBS, or maybe because the second game is a West Coast game. That's probably the more reason
that's
why we got
why.
the championship game last. But first game is the game that everybody wants to see. It is Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes for a shot to the Super Bowl, man. We're gonna give a full breakdown on this. First, I want to start with, as J.R. Bang always likes to say, content is king. We're gonna talk about legacy, man. The legacy view here between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. I think for Lamar, I don't like, as I've evolved in my, not only my viewing sports as somebody who does media, but also somebody as a fan, I don't take seasons as just because you didn't win a championship, it was a failure, unless you're like the odds-on favorite. And yes, the Ravens are the odds-on favorite to an extent, but it's also Patrick fucking Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, I also feel like if they lose that, it'll be viewed a little bit differently. So I'm not going to say that it will be a failed season if they lose on Sunday, but I do think it will be a missed opportunity. As I've said, as Courtney has said, as Dante, everybody said on the show, that if you can't beat Patrick Mahomes this year, when he is throwing to Quick Trip employees and he has Matt Nagy calling plays, you're never going to beat this nigga, because let's be very clear. The Kansas City Chiefs front office is going to spend every dollar getting them better wide receivers next year, especially with Travis Kelce not being what he once was. Rumors of him retiring just along the same time as his brother retired a couple weeks ago. We all know, that's going to be something they want to get into the next era of Kansas City Chief football with more wide receivers. So if you can't beat him now at home, where he is the most vulnerable he's been, you're never going to do it. And I think this is a year for Lamar Jackson where he's been shutting people up. Shit, he's been shutting me up. But as I've always said on the show, I want you to shut me up. Please shut me up. Contrary to what my co-hosts say on here, I do not hate Lamar Jackson. I do not hate that man whatsoever. I had I had criticisms that I feel were valid when the time I said them. But he is shutting everybody up. He is well on his way to winning his second MVP, whether they win Sunday or not. But this is the time. He can go out there and be the guy who knocked out Patrick Mahomes. There's only been two quarterbacks to eliminate Patrick Mahomes. One is the greatest quarterback of all time. He did it twice. And then there's also Joe Burrow, who is, I think that's his real rival, not fucking Josh Allen, as much as I like Josh Allen. Alice called me Scott Poley in the chat. Fuck you. Anyway, but I think that this is an opportunity for him. He can go out there and knock him out. And then now you have the opportunity to bring a championship back to Baltimore. And then everybody who ever said stuff about you, even people who went further than me, who said things like he needs to be a wide receiver, or, or the racist thing they always say about black quarterbacks is he can't break down the defense. He doesn't know how to process. He can shut all them people the fuck up by beating Patrick Mahomes on Sunday and moving on to the Super Bowl, man. Let's start with I'm gonna go with Courtney first. Courtney, what is your opinion on what legacy view this would be for Lamar, for a win and for a loss?
I mean, like we said, if you don't beat the Chiefs this year, it's never going to happen. I mean, at least not anytime soon. I'm really, really looking forward to this football game. But I'm mostly just excited for Lamar Jackson. He has the opportunity here, in my opinion, to propel himself into the same conversation as Patrick Mahomes, a guy with, a couple of MVPs, since clearly he's going to win the MVP this year. I mean, at least in my opinion, I think he's going to win the MVP. And now, if he has the chance to add a Super Bowl, he can get himself in that conversation. I think he's got way more to lose, and there's way more on the line for Lamar Jackson than it is for Patrick Mahomes. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't win, then it's, he was playing with house money, right? He's only had Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce to throw the ball to. Nobody's sitting around being like, oh my God, Patrick Mahomes didn't make that pass to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Like, no one's going to remember that in 3 years, right? So yeah, I think Lamar Jackson has way more at stake here than Pat Mahomes does.
Pavy, tell us, what your opinion is on, what's on the line for Lamar, and what you think, if anything's on the line at all, for Patrick Mahomes on Sunday.
I mean, for Lamar, if you look at his football resume, he's pretty much done quite possibly everything that you could. He's won a Heisman, he's won MVP, he's been an All-Pro, he's been Pro Bowl. He's pretty much done everything that you can do as a quarterback besides win a Super Bowl. So I mean, yeah, I mean it's a huge game for him, and like Courtney said, he could put himself in the same conversation. Like I'm somebody who thinks that we have one elite quarterback in the NFL right now. I think we are in one of the worst eras of quarterback, and I've actually been alive
That's
for
a hot take.
I think we have one elite quarterback. His name is Patrick Mahomes. Like actually, literally elite. When as in you walk into a game and you think, oh, Pat playing, they gonna win. There's no other quarterback who I feel that way about. But if Lamar can, take his team, walk in there, beat Pat, and then also beating Pat, the job not done. You still got to win the Super Bowl because you could beat Pat and lose in the Super Bowl, and then we back at square one. So I mean, a lot is on the line for Lamar. So for me, I'm just excited to see the game. I think I hope yesterday I watched the compilation of the most classic championship games. I hope that we get a game that's like that tomorrow, and I'm just looking forward to it.
Dante, man, what's your take on the legacy for both of these quarterbacks?
For Pat, it's nothing at stake. Pat is still Pat. Like if he loses this game, he lost, and people to blame the wide receivers anyway. But if he wins it, it's just another notch toward him being the greatest of all time when it's all said and done. Even though people always say he'll never get that lick back against Brady. It's one of those things where like what you're watching, what you're seeing, and like as a quarterback from just a physical standpoint, we've never seen nobody like Pat. So as far as his legacy, there's nothing on the line. Lamar, I think he can cement himself in the conversation as a tier 1 elite quarterback, one of those guys. And I'm gonna be honest with you, for me, if Lamar beats Pat and Lamar can go to the Super Bowl, it's time to put Lamar over Joe Burrow, over Jared Allen, over all of those guys. Because I mean, we shoot Joe Burrow a lot of bail, but the reality is he plays on really good offenses, and he's still been injury prone. He's been in the Super Bowl one time. That's cool, but for as much as we say he is the elite of the elite, there's no reason you can put if Lamar does all he's done already being here we thinking 2-time MVP, 2-time All-Pro. If he goes and gets a Super Bowl, he is a 1A top of the line quarterback, and there's no more you can say about it because all of the other stuff we talk about is bullshit anyway. Everybody says he can't throw the ball. His completion percentage is a lot better than a lot of people. His percentage from the pocket is a lot better than a lot of people. He actually only leaves the pocket when he needs to leave the pocket. That's one thing, we talk about other quarterbacks that they panic and get out of there. Now, if you watch him play, he's cool, calm, and collected in the pocket at all times, and he goes when he has to go. And so I think, it's time to really, acknowledge him as a dual threat. And I think that's what's on the line for him, because if he loses, it'll just be more of the same BS, more of the same talk about what he can't do. So I think, in this year, fully healthy, he got a lot on the line to go get.
I'll say this. I think that, from a Pat perspective, like his legacy there's nothing like his legacy that they're going to change. Like you said, they lose, they're going to blame the wide receivers any goddamn way. But he is fighting against ghosts. It kind of feels like something where, like LeBron, everything LeBron does, we're not comparing LeBron to other niggas we playing with. We compare him to 23. Like that's the only person we compare him to. So with Pat, we compare him to 12. Like that's it. He has an opportunity to, if he wins, he's going to tie Peyton Manning in playoff wins like already, what I'm saying? Like he could pass all these other guys, that he's in front of him. If he has only a couple touchdowns to be ahead of Peyton Manning, if he wins both, he will surpass Joe Montana for playoff wins. And then of course he's still 20 behind Tom Brady, which is asinine, which tells you how many fucking things that Brady has done. Like, to me, it just helps him. He loses nothing here. And like you're right with Lamar. If Lamar wins the whole thing, and Pavy said it, job's not finished, even though you do beat Pat, because there are two formidable teams in the NFC who can put them niggas through tables. Like Detroit ain't gonna go out like no hoes, and the Niners ain't gonna go out like no hoes. So especially the Niners, gonna want their look back for what happened on Christmas Day as well. So it's not a job that's gonna be finished if they beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. But if he does win, yeah, you got to put him over Joe Burrow. You got to put him over Josh Allen, because now he has the hardware to go with it. He'll be a 2-time MVP and a Super Bowl champion. So I definitely feel like that is a lot more on the line for Lamar than it is Pat. Now, let's talk about ways how the Ravens can actually win this football game, because now we're talking about strategy and what goes into that. I think for the Ravens, like their defense is nasty. Their defense has been nasty since they've been a fucking franchise. We can go all the way back to Ray Lewis. We go to Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs, just all the guys that they've had in their tenure of being a franchise after coming back from Cleveland. But But this one led by Roquan Smith, which I'm glad that everybody finally sees who Roquan is. Like the Bears tax is real. Like when I used to say, oh, he was top 2, top 3 linebacker in the league, I would get laughed out of the fucking building. He was an all-pro there. His numbers, he had numbers in the Bears. They're better than his numbers now. So I'm not going to go on a rant on that, but Roquan has always been that nigga. So I'm glad he's finally getting the love and the respect that he's actually getting deserves right now. But it's led by him, and I think the key is the defense for both sides because Kansas City defense is really, really good. This is the best defense that they've had in the Patrick Mahomes era, and really Lamar has to limit his mistakes. He hasn't made any mistakes in the playoffs this year. Hasn't really made a lot of mistakes this regular season in general. He needs to not be able to do that. He needs to if I'm the secondary of the Baltimore Ravens, I'm putting those weak ass wide receivers on their back. Like make sure that they gotta force the ball to Kelsey and just take away the options. If you can make Pat Mahomes look like he's looking majority of this season where he doesn't know who to fucking throw to, that's the number one way to win this game. But number one thing is they have to get in the end zone. Field goals are not going to beat this guy. We've seen it time and time again. That was the main reason that the Bills lost last week. Settling for field goals and not getting in the fucking end zone. Pat had multiple 20-yard passes last week. Josh Allen had 0. A lot of his production came on the ground. So he's got to be able to do that this week. And if he does that, I think they got a good chance to win the game. But they pretty much got to play mistake-free football to win this one. Courtney, what are some things that you think that the Ravens need to do to win this game?
The first thing that comes to mind, honestly, is I need Lamar Jackson to protect that football with his life. As someone who has had Lamar Jackson as a fantasy quarterback for the past like three seasons now. I can't tell you how many games I lost because of Lamar Jackson turnovers, especially fumbles. So that's a big key for me. And then also just football, just protecting the football and also really long drives. The last thing you want to do is give the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes too much time with the ball. So just really long, sustained drives that end in touchdowns, not field goals. That's the key for me.
Pat, what's your keys for a Baltimore win on Sunday?
I mean, you guys kind of said it. Don't turn the ball over. And then you have to also create turnovers. So if they can create turnovers, if they can make Pat really anyway, if they can get an interception, they can make a fumble the football, they can make the running backs fumble the football, they can make the receivers fumble the football. Just create some turnovers so that you can also win the field position battle. And again, you don't turn the ball over. Lamar don't throw no picks, don't fumble the ball. Just play very smart football, like you guys said. Score touchdowns. Field goals not gonna work. You probably gonna have to get you at least 31 points to win this football game. At least 31 points to win this game.
Yeah.
So again, take care of the ball and make sure that you turn him over. Obviously, like this season, it hasn't been impossible to pick Pat Mahomes off. We've seen it done by a lot of teams this season. So make sure that, make sure you can get turnovers, and please protect the football. Don't do stupid stuff, and you should be fine.
Dante, how can the Ravens punch their ticket to Las Vegas on Sunday?
If you're the Ravens defense, you got to shorten the field for your offense because, like we said, this Kansas City defense is really good. They don't give up a lot of explosive plays, so you do have a dynamic weapon in Pat. I said Pat Mahomes. You do have a dynamic weapon in Lamar Jackson, but at the end of the day, with this defense being who they are, you got to make that field shorter, and they have the ability to do that. And I think another reason that's important because you got to get physical with these receivers and make sure last week we've been talking all season about how they work catching the ball. And, they look pretty solid outside of Mecole Hardman fumbling the ball in the goal line. They look pretty solid last week. So you got to start hitting motherfuckers like we saw them get real physical in that game. And if they can do that, I think that'll help Lamar having a short field, and their offense will be able to maneuver and get them some points. Because that's with Pat, he damn near it's like whoever has the ball last. That's who's gonna win the games when he plays. So at this point, you got to get ahead, and the only way to do that is you really gonna have to shorten that field up.
Yeah, and let's look to the Chiefs side of it, man. This is going to be real simple for me. And in the words of a former Chicago Bears coach, and he's also the current offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs, Matt Nagy, just be you. Like, that is really the only advice I have for the Kansas City Chiefs. Be you. If Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, they keep running the football with Pacheco and don't make mistakes and make the mistake and make Lamar in that offense make mistakes, You're going to win this fucking football game. You're the team that's been here 6 straight years in a row. As much as, all the pressure is on them. It's on the Ravens. They're at home. Their fans are waiting for them. Lamar's going to be MVP. All the pressure is on them, and they know that. They're no disrespect to John Harbaugh, but they're the better coach team. They know how to, stay around and be able to pick and, take their moments and be able to win the game. So Pat is Pat, and this defense, takes Lamar out of character. I think they're going to win this game. Like you said, Pat, they got to score 31 points. The thing that they can do, I don't believe that the Chiefs can play as explosive as the Ravens can now because they just don't have the weapons to do that. But they can keep it hard-nosed football, run the football, play good defense, and then Pat is Pat. I don't think they have any answer for that one, man. So to me, that's how Kansas City wins the game. Courtney, what things you think Kansas City needs to do to be able to combat everything that you said that you need Baltimore to do?
Well, I was looking at the injury report. I know Isaiah Pacheco is like a little, I don't really know what the situation is there. So yeah, you kind of just gotta hope and pray that you can get Travis Kelce free up the middle. If you can't get that going, then you're in for a long night of MVS and Rashee Rice. And gosh, I don't bet against Patrick Mahomes, man. That's the problem. Because everything is set up for the Ravens to go in there and win that game.
Set up last week too.
Man, I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. But for me, yeah, I think the key for the Chiefs, one is their defense. They got to blitz Lamar.
Yeah.
If Lamar doesn't get blitzed and has too long back there to figure things out, and Chiefs defense isn't that good against the scramble anyway. So yeah, Their defense really needs to get to Lamar. That's the key for me. Because my other keys, Patrick Mahomes is inevitable. We talked about it last week.
Pat, what's your keys for the champs?
As Courtney said, one, make Lamar very uncomfortable. Again, like I keep saying turnovers, but literally turnovers. Make sure that you can turn him over. And then for the Chiefs, you don't want to fall down early because you do want to have, like you said, it's not like you have a plethora of weapons. So you don't want your offense to become completely one-dimensional. You still want to be able to play a somewhat balanced offense. So don't fall down like 14-0, and you press in. Now you feel like you got to throw the ball every single play. You don't want to do that. Play a very balanced offense. And like you said, as long as Pat is Pat Mahomes and you can force the Ravens to have some turnovers, I think that they'll be fine. Just don't fall down early. Keep the game close. I'm assuming you're not going to go into Baltimore and just blow them out. But if you got a situation which is a 3-point game where it's tied with 5 minutes left, if I'm the Chiefs and I got Pat Mahomes, I like my chances. So, yeah.
Dante, take us home with this one. What do you think the Chiefs need to do to win this game?
Catch the fucking football, bro. Like, you got the best quarterback on earth. Catch the fucking ball. Like, it's really that simple. Like, I think, like you said, I don't really bet against Pat Mahomes. The games that he has lost, the AFC championships he has lost, teammates were offsides. He didn't get the chance in overtime, like a whole bunch of bullshit. So, again, catch the ball, bro. Like, he's gonna put it where it needs to be. We've seen it time and time again. I understand this Ravens defense is amazing and everything I just said, but nah, bro. Catch the football. That's what they need to do. If you do that, Pat Mahomes is going to put you in a position to win every fucking time, and this is going to be a matter of who gets the ball last. And if you lose like that, even though that's unfortunate, you could take that as opposed to going out there and dropping passes, dropping touchdowns, and then you're like, damn, we could have had that game. So That's my key to the game for the Chiefs. Catch the ball.
Now it's prediction time, man. I said last week that I learned my lesson, and I will not be picking against Patrick Mahomes for the rest of my life. I don't give a damn what the roster looks like. I don't care what the roster of the other team look like. I'm giving him Tom Brady insurance. There was a lot of times Tom Brady lost, but I didn't feel bad about picking him because he's Tom fucking Brady. And a lot of times the Tom Brady lost, the nigga never got his ass whooped. Like, I can't ever remember a playoff game where a Patriot just got shellacked. It was always a chance for them to do some Patriots devil work. So this is the perfect setup for the Ravens. They're at home. Lamar's been great. The defense has been great. But it's going to be some sad Baltimore people this Sunday. I'm sorry. Shout out to Rita. She was here on the pod a week ago. There's going to be some sad people in Baltimore. There's going to be some sad motherfuckers in Baltimore. Y'all going to be sad because they're going to keep showing Taylor Swift. Oh, and just wait till Taylor Swift holds up the Lamar Hunt trophy. Oh
no. You know why I know they're going to lose?
Why?
They doing this shit they're making the mistake that every team makes. They got Michael Phelps bringing up the game ball. They got Ed Reed and Ray Lewis coming back. You got the whole goddamn team coming back.
It's like when the Bears bring out the 85 Bears.
The hose. That's tragic.
It's like when the Bears bring out the 85 Bears and niggas lose.
Doing too much.
Why is Michael Phelps bringing the game ball out? Is he
from Baltimore?
Okay,
he's from Baltimore.
Just
also,
but I understand why they would do it though. I'm sorry.
No, I get it from
it makes sense.
First time the Ravens hosted an AFC Championship game.
First time in since they actually been a franchise.
Yeah, see, like I get it.
The other two times they were on the road.
That's bad. That's bad juju.
And I saw on his Instagram, Wood Harris, who plays Avon Barksdale, said he plans to be at the game. You've been at a wire in the building. Them niggas is 100% losing on Sunday. I'm going Chiefs 28 and Ravens 24. And I hate to say it, it's going to be end of game interception from some random nigga that Lamar ain't got no business throwing a pick to. That's how I think this game is going to go. Courtney, what's your score on Sunday?
It's really changed every day.
It's a tough one.
I want the Ravens to win so bad.
I think everybody does, but me.
I'm so sorry. I want the Ravens to, in my heart, I'm saying the Ravens. But my mind is saying that's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs 30, Ravens 27. I do think the Chiefs are gonna win by a field goal.
Pavy.
I'm going to regret that, but yeah.
Pav, who you got?
I'm going to be the opposite guy. I'm actually going to pick the Ravens. I got the Ravens 31-24. One reason I'm saying this is because I would just love to see a Super Bowl, which is Baltimore, Detroit. Can you imagine Vegas?
Oh, it's going to be nigga fest.
Full of Baltimore niggas and Michigan niggas.
The furs and buffs you're going to see.
Ooh, my God. Ooh. So one, I want to see that, but also I see the Ravens have a really good team. I think it's just Lamar's year, and I think the Chiefs have shown that they're vulnerable. I mean, I think even if last week, if the Bills could have converted more and didn't make the mistakes that they made, they could have won that.
Bills would made that goddamn field goal. It goes overtime.
Yeah. Like they could have possibly won that won that game. So I'm gonna go with the Ravens. Like I said, I just think that they are the better all around team this year. Like I said, 31-24.
Dante, who's your pick for Sunday?
I know I'm wrong because, like I said, everything is pointing toward them losing this fucking game. But I'm gonna go Ravens 24, Chiefs 17. Like I think, like you said, we've seen the chinks in the armor all year with that team as a whole, and they've leaned on Pat. And I think Pat is gonna put it there, but at the same time, bro, we've seen them drop passes all season. Buffalo pretty much gave them that game last week. So I think Lamar is at a point where he's ready to, like I said, submit his name at the top of the top. So I got to say Ravens.
Yeah, and it's something I feel like it would be a good story if they won, but I'm going with Pat. But let's go to the NFC. Since our guy J.R. Bang is not here, I'm gonna say it for him. Don't nobody give a fuck about no damn Detroit Lions. As Bang says each and every week, and he be wrong each and every week because they be winning. This game to me, man, I think it's going to be entertaining. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going under the radar for two reasons. One, because it does not have the quarterback battle. We've been arguing on this podcast for the last couple weeks about which direction is the best way to win a Super Bowl. Is it the franchise quarterback direction, which is what Baltimore and Kansas City have? Or is this to build the team up and just have a decent quarterback like you've got in Jared Goff or Brock Purdy? And honestly, it's disrespectful to Jared Goff a little bit. I don't want to be disrespectful to Jared Goff because he's way better than Brock Purdy. I don't want to be disrespectful to Jared Goff, but Jared Goff is still he's a 40-degree day. So that's the 40-degree day bowl between Purdy and Goff. So we're going to do the legacy view here thing for Goff and Purdy. For me, I don't think it's really even a legacy thing with Purdy. I think it's more of kind of a little bit. If they win, this will be the first time that, they won a championship in 30 years. Last time the Niners won a championship was 1994. That was Steve Young. That was prime time. That was, it was, who's the coach? Who's the, I can't even remember the dude who came back after Bill Walsh. His name is escaping me right now, but Jerry Rice, real stacked team that they had, and they ended up beating the San Diego Chargers to win the Super Bowl that year. He will be the third quarterback in San Francisco 49ers history behind the man, Joe Montana, and Steve Young. So he will be in that lineage of quarterbacks to win that. But this is more about Jared Goff for me. This is more about Jared Goff because his legacy is already changing. This can be a tremendous legacy here. Jared Goff has a chance to get a statue, ladies and gentlemen. He has a chance to join Barry Sanders with a statue in Detroit because he already led the Rams to the Super Bowl in 2019. He was the number one overall draft pick. A lot of number one overall draft picks don't really pan out. We can sit up here and say, obviously, he's not Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford is a better quarterback. But there's way worse quarterbacks on God's green earth than Jared Goff. And as good as this team has been built by Brad Holmes and Detroit Lions and the coaching of Dan Campbell, he's the reason. If he was bad, none of this shit matter. So if they go out here and win, take Detroit to the Super Bowl, which they've never been to. Last time they were in the NFC Championship game, they got smoked by the Redskins. So if they even make it, that's history. But if you go there and you win, now he joins Detroit sports legends as Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Miguel Cabrera. Even though Miguel Cabrera didn't win one in Detroit, he's a World Series champion, even with Florida Marlins. So I'm putting respect on his head for that. With the Ben Wallace, the Chauncey Billups, he joins in that range, the Fab Five. He's going to be in that lineage of Detroit sports icons, man. So I feel like if he wins this says a lot more about him than it does Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, you just like, if Brock Purdy in the Niners win, to me, this says a lot more about Kyle Shanahan finally getting over the hump and getting some of the 28-3 stank off of him and just how great this defense has been more than Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy gets to be in that picture with Joe Montana and Steve Young, but that's like me being in a picture with fucking Barry Gordy and Dr. Dre. Like, nigga, I'm here, but I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is what it would be for Brock Purdy. So this is a lot more about Jared Goff for me. I'm gonna go to Pav first. Pav, what do you think legacy-wise this would do for both quarterbacks?
I'm gonna start with Goff because I think that when you do things for certain franchises, it means way more. If you are the quarterback of the Detroit Lions and you even take them to the Super Bowl, you're already in a whole different other stratosphere. If you win the Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions, who have been a symbol of impunity for my entire existence, for actually the entire existence period. Yeah. Literally, they haven't won, I think, since the 1950s. Like the last time they actually won anything before the Super Bowl was 1950s. If you are the quarterback for the Detroit Lions, he becomes, honestly, listen, I know Matthew Stafford probably had better numbers and all that, but he was also throwing a Megatron. But he had better numbers or whatever. But you become the best quarterback in franchise.
Oh,
you actually become the third best player in franchise history, behind Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders. And also, granted, they did get cooked by the Patriots, but at least you were on the Rams team that went to the Super Bowl. This is two different.
And they didn't even get cooked by the Patriots. That was one of the most boring Super Bowls.
You're right. But you are a quarterback who has taken two teams to the Super Bowl. Like you said, you were the number one pick in the draft. You've actually done things that not many quarterbacks have done. So for Jared Goff, if you can get the Detroit Lions to the Super Bowl and actually win it, it puts him in a whole nother complete different stratosphere. Like, again, I know we were in the group chat talking about Jared Goff could be a Hall of Famer. I don't know about all of that.
Yeah, he's not getting all of that.
I don't know about all of that, but it does. But like you said, he is in the Michigan Hall of Fame. He would be in the Hall of Fame of Michigan forever. And for Brock Purdy, for him, it would be a great story. Obviously, last year he had to come out, you get hurt immediately, can't really play. You come out this year, if you could get to the Super Bowl and win it, be a great story. But I don't think for legacy wise, it would. I don't want to say do that much for him because you still are a Super Bowl winning quarterback. But I think that when we think about this 49ers team, Brock Purdy will not be the first thing that we think about.
He'll be the Trent Dilfer of this thing.
Yes. So he won't be the first thing that we think about. So for him, it's dope to be a Super Bowl winning QB, but Goff is the one where if he wins, it puts him in a whole nother different complete stratosphere.
Courtney, how do you think this does legacy wise for these two quarterbacks?
Since Bang ain't here, I'll take up his post. Nobody give a damn about the Detroit Lions. It's cool and all. It's a cool storyline for sure. And I feel like already because they've made it this far, like Jared Goff is never going to have to buy anything at any respective Detroit restaurant ever again. You know, like it's got to be on the house. As far like he's done something Matt Stafford didn't do. That's got to be worth something to them. As far as Brock Purdy is concerned, he's the NFC Championship game for me as a whole is just kind of forgettable.
It's the buddy ass bowl.
Yeah. It's and I've maintained since we started talking playoffs, you know, whoever comes out of the AFC is going to win the Super Bowl. Yeah. And I don't care if that is the 49ers. We saw what the Ravens did to them. But anyway, getting back into legacy for Goff and Purdy, there's really not anything at stake for Brock Purdy. But for Jared Goff, yeah, you have, like Pavy said, you got potential to really propel yourself into elite conversation in Detroit sports history for sure.
They're definitely gonna take his Lions jersey and a pair of buffs and put them in Coney and right there on 8 Mile. And he's gonna have his little area right there. Dante, what you think this says for Goff and Purdy?
I disagree that it can't help. It really does nothing for Purdy. It all depends on how they win. If Purdy goes out there and light shit up, then it legitimizes them, especially if they go to the Super Bowl and he plays well. Now, if it's another game where, you know, he's checked down Charlie and he's playing, people are dropping interceptions, and we're going to have the same conversation about him. So with Purdy, I think a win here and taking his team to the Super Bowl after last year when he got hurt in the NFC Championship, I think for him, that's more so putting him back into the talk where people could say it's not just a scheme, like Brock can play ball. And as far as golf, I think, you know, people forget one of the main things about golf is everybody said he couldn't do it without Sean McVay. Like, and so if you can take this team to the Super Bowl, like take Detroit to the Super Bowl, you know, yes, they run the ball well, but, you know, playing the way he has played, he's had his turnover issues this year, but taking your second team to the Super Bowl. I was at that Super Bowl when they played the Patriots, behind the Patriots bench. It was one of the most boring. It was like watching paint dry. But at the end of the day, that was a Super Bowl where, you know, back when he played with the Rams, Sean McVay would be in his ear until he couldn't be in his ear anymore. Like, you know, there's a limit on how long the offensive coordinator can talk to you. And he would be sitting there talking to him like, hey, they doing this, and then that shit to cut off. And so, you know, for him to go to Detroit and play the way he's played, for him, this would be a thing where he could say, nah, bro, like, I am a legit top 15 quarterback in this league. And I think for him, that's big because everybody was getting ready to call him a bust, saying, oh, man, LA gave up on him and they won without him. They didn't need him. And now he's, you know, right here on the brink of taking his team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and this will also go down as one of the rare win trades because then both teams will come out of this trade with a Super Bowl. So that's something too that will go up there, man. I want to talk about the Niners real quick, man. What this would do for them if they lose this game, because I feel like that's going on the radar because they can lose this game. This is a team that's been around. We've talked about the Dallas Cowboys and, you know, teams that's been around for about 5-6 years. Windows don't last that long in the NFL. And then, you know, this is something here where if they blow this, where do you go from here? Because how many times has Kyle Shanahan, you know, done this, you know, and he kept getting to this point and not executed. You know, what are you going to say about Brock Purdy if he's the reason if they lose? What are you going to say about this defense if this defense isn't as great as they've been? I feel like this is going to be some important decisions that John Lynch is going to have to make if they do lose this game. I want to go to Dante first because you've been on the front lines of the Shanahan thing since he's been in Atlanta. What do you think a loss here would do?
For Shanahan, I think the issue would be, you know, here we go again. He can't win the big one. That's always the thing with Kyle. He'll get you to the door, but he's not going to walk through that motherfucker. And so I think with the way that they've missed on quarterbacks, like I said last week, this is one team that, despite the fact that they've missed on like really 3 quarterbacks in the same window, they're on the brink of going to 3 Super Bowls. So, you know, they've still been successful in terms of business. And, you know, as we all know, it's cool to do that ring shit. But at the end of the day, if your team is consistently making deep runs into the playoffs, you are a successful franchise. And that's something that the 49ers have been over the past, you know, pretty much decade and a half, damn near longer. But I think, you know, a loss, that really makes you have to take a step back and say, all right, what are we going to do here? Like, like I said, it depends on like the same way it depends on how they win and how they lose. If you go into this game and Brock Purdy looks like shit and he's throwing interceptions and Detroit is able to take this game, and then it's like, all right, we really need to figure out this quarterback position. And I mean, I know there's a quarterback at in Chicago that's looking for a new home. So you could reach out to them, but it's a lot of opportunities out there for them to still improve that position. And so it all depends on what we see with Purdy, bro. Like I said, it's, as much as I love Kyle Shanahan, to me is the best coach in the league. You gotta win the big one, bro. They still haven't done that.
Courtney,
I have a question for everyone here.
Okay.
Who did the 49ers beat this season?
Like,
hold on. Before you answer this, I want us all here to think about that.
Like a big win they had this year.
They made some statement. They had some statement wins, but think about who those statement wins came against and how those teams ended up. Remember week 5 when they beat the hell out of the Cowboys?
Yeah, that was the only one I was thinking about. But the Cowboys are the Cowboys.
Didn't they beat the Eagles?
Okay, and then was it week 12?
They beat the Eagles. They beat the Eagles. That was their statement.
The Eagles. And what happened to the Eagles?
But that was a different version of the Eagles.
That's true. That was a different version of the Eagles, and also there's a reason the Eagles went on that slope.
I just want to know that throughout the entirety of the season, at no point did the 49ers, in my humble opinion, did they beat anyone that I'm like, especially after the Ravens went to their crib and put their foot up on the fucking couch.
Well, this is why I disagree with you, because I feel like, we looking at the Eagles how they are now, but now I feel like that was a game that started the Eagles slide.
Oh yeah,
and on top of the whole back and forth they had in the offseason, well, y'all niggas only won the reason on third.
What I was trying to say was, were those teams that they beat for real, or was it just keep in mind the Eagles lost to the Jets in that same season?
These are all fair points.
Were the Eagles ever really for real?
They weren't, but I just think just off the fact that they were
really for real.
The only way this will matter is if they lose. Because if we go back to every team that's won the Super Bowl, I'm sure it's a team that has some skinny roads.
That's what as far as the question about their window, my brother in Christ, if y'all don't really, if you can't do it now, if you can't do it now, if they beat the Lions and say, if you can't do it now, when you don't have to worry about possibly running into like Joe Burrow, of course, I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes is any better or Lamar, especially after he came up in your crib and put his foot up on the couch. But no, I'm not feeling too good about the Niners, especially if Debo's not playing.
Yeah, well, he practicing full, so I'm guessing he's on track. But Pat, what do you think this would do for the window since they've been around for a minute?
I was just actually sitting here looking at the ages. It's not really a young team. Like you got Debo's 28. I think Christian McCaffrey's 28. Yep. Fred Warner is 27. So I'm just naming some of like the star players. Like they creeping up on 30. If this was basketball, it wouldn't matter. But this is football. You only get about 3 to 4 good years, especially at skill positions in football, before you start to take that deep slide. Usually, now you got some guys who go out there and defy the odds, but usually you only get about 4 to 5 good years. So, and again, like you said, this team has been a model of consistency, especially over the past decade. They've been pretty good. I mean, last year was kind of a wash. If you go out there with no quarterbacks, what do you actually want me to do? But you got to get but you have to start getting it done. Like I think maybe you could get, and also like Dante, it depends on how you lose. If you have a demore, like last year, it was like, again, like I said, what do you want me to do? But if you come out here and get demoralized, this might be a thing where next season, like the psyche of your team just isn't the same, and you drop down like 8-8. I mean, 8-9 or 9-8 because they play another game these days. So that might be a thing that happens. But I think that maybe if you go out there and you lose by like last second field goal or something, or just like something fluky happens, I think this team still had maybe 1.5, maybe 2 more years left, but the time is definitely ticking because these guys not like 2-3 years pro. These guys have been around for a pretty good minute now. Injuries gonna start to creep up, age gonna start to creep up. So if it's any year to get it done, probably this year.
All right, let's get straight to our predictions for this game, man. This one, I'm gonna regret picking this. I didn't feel good when I woke up this morning and decided on this, but The Detroit Lions going to the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not buying what the San Francisco 49ers are selling. I don't believe in Brock Purdy. I've never believed in Brock Purdy. I said it right the fuck away last year. And Mikey kept putting in group chat, Brocktober this, Brocktober that. I won't get the final laugh. I was not impressed by that defense last week. They basically they lucky that Jordan Love threw the worst pass maybe in the history of this sport last week. Like, that's the reason they won. And Jared Goff is way better than motherfucking Jordan Love. And more important, Dan Campbell got these dudes believing, man. Like, I really think they believe. They think it's their time, and they ain't scared of shit. And you know, I'm going Lions. I'm going Lions going to win this one. And Lions offense ain't been stopped all playoffs either. I'm going Lions 34-21. I think this will be a double-digit win for the Detroit Lions. My auntie will be blowing my phone up on Sunday. Talking about everything that's going on in Detroit. Pav, which way are you rolling for this game?
I'm going with the Lions, but I'm going with the Lions because of the fact, like, number one, I think Goff is a better quarterback than Purdy, and the Lions have playmakers. I mean, I remember the first time I saw Jamar Gibbs, is his name, right, play this season. Jahmyr Gibbs. I was like, obviously David Montgomery is a really good steady back. I mean, we've watched him for years with the Bears, really good steady back, you know. But I was like, yo, Jahmyr Gibbs is a home run hitter. Like, you know, he's a legit playmaker. He's fast. You can just give him the ball in any type of way that you can give him the ball. I think last week they did a better job of getting him the ball in just any type of way that you could possibly get him the ball. And like you said, Dan Campbell, I don't know what he be in the things telling the locker room, telling them, but he got them really ready to run through a wall. Now, granted, last week I did see the very last drive Brock Purdy played. I did see him make some throws.
It was good throws, yeah. I give him that.
The last drive, he did make some throws. If he can come out here and again keep the game close, and if we get like one last drive and you call it right, he goes out there and make the throws, I think they'll be okay. But still, I'm gonna go with the Detroit Lions. I'm gonna go with the Detroit Lions, like let's say 27-17.
Dante, who you got?
I am also taking the Detroit Lions. I just do not feel like the Niners are gonna get it done.
That's crazy.
We're not gonna do that. Let's be very clear. I'll be rooting for their demise while intoxicated on Sunday. Like, that's what I would be doing.
And let's be clear. I would love, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to see the greatest Caucasian running back to ever live go to the Super Bowl.
That's how a white man runs a football.
Man, bro.
But brother, it's you know, that's one family. When people be like, when I try to tell people, hey, bro, genetics play a part in this.
No, his daddy.
Go look at their lineage. No, fuck that. His daddy, his mama, his granddaddy. Like, go look at the lineage of the McCaffrey family and how athletic they are. But no, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose. Detroit gonna get it done. I got Detroit 24-21. 24-21. I think Goff looks shaky again. Hate to say it, but I'm going with Detroit. Hope I'm wrong, but Detroit.
I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong like a motherfucker.
I just want to see Michigan niggas in Vegas.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the one to break it to you guys. I don't think Detroit's winning this football game.
You going with the Niners?
It's not going to be all loud like in Detroit with full of Lions fans. They got Christian McCaffrey. I don't see Detroit winning this football game. Mainly, in my opinion, I'm just thinking about, for me, the X factor is the coaching. I don't think Dan Campbell is going to, like you said, Pavy, great motivator. Like, that's the guy in halftime. You absolutely want him grabbing you by the pads and shaking you, for sure. But he's not going to X and O his way into scheming up a game plan for Jared Goff and coming up with some game-winning drive, in my opinion.
Shanahan can also game plan himself out to Tweakville, too.
You are absolutely correct. But I think that, in my opinion, just like he cooked up that drive for Brock Purdy last week, I think he'll be able to have that kind of success. I do think it's going to be a very good game. And I think it's going to be a close game. And I got, for me, I'll say 30-24 Niners.
All right. So that concludes our AFC, NFC Championship preview, man. Let's do, have some coaching maneuvers here. We got two more topics. We're going to talk about this. We're going to quickly talk about baseball, Hall of Fame real quick. And then Courtney's got to get up out of here. Then we have some NBA talk before Cousin Dan Fridays kicks off, man. But two new hirings. Of course, the hiring that we all knew was going to happen from the minute that we heard rumors a couple weeks ago. Jim Harbaugh is back in the NFL. He is the new head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Another guy from the Los Angeles, tree, Raheem Morris, is the new head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. They interviewed Jim Harbaugh twice. They interviewed Bill Belichick twice, and they interviewed, of course, Raheem Morris. So, to me, the thing here, and there's been no numbers released. Of course, we know that Harbaugh's contract is 5 years. We don't know the exact how much money it is. I'm guessing it's a lot because they haven't released it. We don't know anything about how long Raheem Morris' contract is. Of course, Raheem Morris is the second go-around with the Falcons, as he was the interim coach back in 2020. So he's back in Atlanta. I will say this quickly about Raheem, and then, I will go around the room about, everything with Harbaugh and stuff like that. But to me, I'm glad Raheem got another shot. Black quarterbacks don't get a lot of shots, after they, fucked up the first time. This is something that Marshall Faulk said today, too, on Rich Eisen, that, this doesn't happen. There's been a multiple black coaches hired this offseason, which has been great. But I always feel like he got the wrong end of the stick for what happened over there in Tampa. He won a Super Bowl. He had that defense ready to go when he was with the Rams, and he gets another shot here. And I think the main thing, we all kind of felt like Bill Belichick was going to get here, but it might have been something where there was beef with the CEO of the Falcons, between his time that he was on the competition committee for the NFL. But I think more than anything, I don't think that they wanted Belichick to bring his old staff, Patricia, Josh McDaniels, all the guys from his coaching tree who were bums without him. I don't think they wanted to deal with that and deal with the overall control that Bill Belichick is going to rightfully want, because he is the greatest coach, at least in pro football history. So I think that was the reason that didn't happen. They decided to go with a guy who, he's going to have, he's younger and he has more of an opportunity to do what they want. And this is not just a win or bust thing, because that is exactly what it would be if you got Bill Belichick. Before we go to Harbaugh, I'm going to go to Dante first, since you're in Atlanta. How do you feel about this hiring? What do you feel about this hiring?
Oh, they excited. Especially Atlanta has a really, really black fan base. And everybody loved Raheem from his time here. And they felt like, he didn't get a fair chance, because when he was here, they had pieces on that 2020 team, but you had an Asian Matt Ryan. Julio was hurt. So, it wasn't the same team that you have now, and the same front office that's trying to continually add talent to this team. So everybody's excited. I think it's important that, players are really excited about this. Like you saw Jalen Ramsey say, yo, don't be surprised, if they get you hear some jokes about tampering, because everybody's going to want to play for Raheem. And
right.
Even Mike Tomlin said he's the best he's the best guy who's not a head coach who should be a head coach. He said this I think it was last year. But so it's a great opportunity for him. It's a great fit in the city of Atlanta. Anytime you do the black head coach, I think they will have a black quarterback, but even if they don't, but just those type of things, they just fit here in Atlanta. And like you said, with Belichick, Rich McKay, that is Arthur Blank's best friend. Like you said, he is the CEO of the company. So it wasn't no, hey, him or me. If Belichick actually tried that, which, they were no reports to that, but if he did try that, Bill, I'm sure Arthur told him, all right, bro, we'll holler at you later. Well, no need. It's no need for that. No need to even go down that path. So I think, for the most part, the fan base in Atlanta is excited. And they just really, their main thing is, what are we going to do at quarterback? Because that's been the issue with this team for, since Matt Ryan left.
Send that 8th pick, Atlanta, if you want who y'all want. Send that 8th pick. Courtney, what you think about Raheem in Atlanta? You're on mute. Yeah, you were on mute.
I was like, yeah, good. You didn't hear what I really want to say, which was, I'm a certified hater. I'm a Saints fan.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you don't care. That's right.
Y'all have fun in Atlanta. Must be nice. Fireman and salad yesterday. Thank you.
Fuck them. I hope they lose. Pav, you have any thought on Raheem Morris in Atlanta?
Yeah, man, you couldn't bring Bill Belichick to Atlanta. That don't even that just Bill Belichick and them fucking cut up hoodies ain't never been the Gladys Knights. You can't bring Bill Belichick to no Atlanta, man. Shout out Raheem. I mean, I even saw an interview I think yesterday when he was talking about Arthur Blank and how he loves Arthur Blank and Arthur treated him well. So shout out him. You get to go to a young team, like you said. I don't think they're gonna have expectations to win now because they got to build. I think they do have pieces. Bijan Robinson, I like him. Maybe you can unlock Cal Pitts. They do have pieces, but obviously they're nowhere near where they need to be. First of all, they got to figure out the quarterback situation because they had damn near me playing quarterback. They had damn near me playing quarterback this year. So they got to figure out that situation. But good for him. Young black coach. in a very, very black city. I think he can endear himself to the community, which in places like Atlanta, I think is very, very important because Atlanta isn't as big of a city as people would think it is. It's really only like 500,000 people in
there's Atlanta and there's Georgia.
Atlanta, and then there's like the rest of the metropolitan area, which like makes it bigger. But I think it's a good hire. Yeah, like Dante said, anytime you go black coach, black city, I think you're doing something right. So shout out him.
And the
Wait, how big is Atlanta?
It's like 500,000 people.
Really?
In the city.
I know the in there. It's got to be true.
Yeah.
The metropolitan area is like
it's over 1 million in the metro. Yeah, the metro area, but they're the actual city.
Atlanta proper is like 500,000 to 600,000 people. It's not as big as you think it is.
Yeah,
it's like the 35th biggest city in America. I could be like actual.
I guarantee you, they have the #1 amount of restaurants with grass walls, though.
Oh, it's 400. In 2021, they said it was 496,000 people inside of this, like the city of Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, it's not that big.
Well, let's get to the big fish. Jim Harbaugh back in the NFL, man. I just want to say this as a Justin Herbert truther. Thank you. If he couldn't be the head coach of my Chicago Bears, and which I thought was not really thought it was a possibility, but I didn't know how much that him and Kevin Warren hated each other. So once I figured that story out, there was no chance in hell that was gonna happen. But Justin Herbert is as great and as talented as he has not had a coach. He has had Brandon Staley was employed way longer than he needed to. Kellen Moore, I don't even want to blame Kellen Moore because I feel like he didn't really have full play calling decisions when it came to that. And I feel like it would be a good drive that he would call and it would go back to Brandon Staley doing some dumb shit. But we're going to really figure out who Justin Herbert is. If Justin Herbert can't make it work with Jim Harbaugh, who has won everywhere he's been, then he's just not that guy. And there's a lot of Herbert haters out there, they will be vindicated. But if this goes the way that I feel it'll go, I will be vindicated. And I'm not saying they're going to win a Super Bowl or anything like that. The worst thing that's going to happen here is that you are in division with Patrick LeVon Mahomes the second. So you got to see that nigga twice a year. So that's 2 losses right there. But I think this is a great move for them, a great move for Jim. And Jim Harbaugh, he accomplished what he wanted to accomplish in Michigan. Won the championship. He's bringing a majority of his staff with him. Of course, I'm the coach who's actually going to replace him, the black coach. I can't remember his name. I feel bad for him. He's going to fall on the sword. Yeah, he's going to be like, remember in that scene in Dark Knight Rises that they expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. That's going to be him when them sanctions drop on Michigan. But for the Chargers, I like it. And on top of that, there's going to be no pressure because nobody in LA gives a fuck about the goddamn Chargers. So there will be no pressure on them to get it done. But I think that's a good job for them. Pav, what do you think about Harbaugh to LA?
I think it's a good hiring. I mean, like you said, he has won everywhere he's been. He won with the Niners. The Michigan program, when he got there, is not the Michigan program that just won the national championship. It is not the Michigan. It was not at all. And it wasn't that program for a long time until this year. It wasn't that program since Charles Woodson was there, basically. So he has turned that around. I think it's a good hiring. And also, I think it's a good spot to pick for his sake. Like you said, it's the Chargers. You're in LA, so you're in a good city. You're in a very marquee city. You're somewhere where free agents would want to go to, want to play at because they get to live in LA. They get to play at SoFi. You're there. You also do have a quarterback in Harbaugh, so you don't have to like go out and search for a QB. So you already got certain pieces installed that should make this transition easier for you. So shout out to Jim Harbaugh. We'll see what he does. I think he'll be a successful coach there because why would he not be? He's won everywhere, but we'll see. But shout out Jim.
Courtney, what do you think about this Harbaugh move?
When I first found out the news, my first thought was when we had Chuck on here a couple of weeks ago, and he said something that kind of stuck with me. It's curious that you, Jim Harbaugh, that is, that you choose to go to the same conference as your brother, who is currently in like the pinnacle right now of the sport.
He want to get that look back.
That's He's clearly he's got a chip or something going on there. No. But for real, I mean, good for him. Like you said, he's won everywhere that he's been. Good for the Charger brand, I guess. I don't know.
All 5 of the Chargers fans in LA.
Yeah. But no, it's a great hire. Objectively, it's a great hire. I wish nothing but the worst for Jim Harbaugh, though, personally. And yeah, I wish them nothing but awful records moving.
Awful things. Dante, what you think about this one?
This is amazing for the Chargers. And this is amazing for my season tickets.
Yeah.
So I fucking love it. I am very excited. I am extremely excited because one thing I know, he's gonna build a winner. That's what he does. He does it every way he goes. I think this is great for Justin Herbert. I think this is really gonna help his. I don't even want to say development because one thing we just need to see Justin win. We need to see him get to the
he gotta
playoffs.
win. He's developed. He's gotta win.
And that's more so the team. And that winning is a team sport. It means a team thing. And we talk about one of the quintessential team sports in football. Like it's 11 people on both sides of the ball. So like no matter how great you are, you need your team. So I think Harbaugh's gonna have that team together. They're gonna be a disciplined bunch. They're gonna be really exciting to watch, and I think that's going to be good, and it's going to help them in LA because they need that. Because if they're not winning, they're not going to, as we've seen, they're not going to garner any type of excitement being a mediocre, middle of the road team, especially when you're sharing that building with the Rams, who have won a Super Bowl, and so you may not, ever shake that San Diego lower label, but if you want to, this is the guy to do it. So, I'm all for it. Like I said, he gonna do his thing.
One quick topic, and then Courtney, we're gonna get you out of here. You gotta bounce. Baseball Hall of Fame got announced like a day or two ago. This year's inductees are Adrian Beltre, Joe Mauer. Fuck Joe Mauer. Just want to get that out there. And Todd Helton. Yeah,
What
Joe Mauer.
I
need to run down the list of the mid-2000s Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, I was
nightmares.
Say,
fuck him and the HHH dome.
Wait, but you're not a White Sox fan though. Yeah, so I was confused on what he did to you.
Yeah, beef still lives. Fuck him. Fuck Justin Morneau. Fuck the Denard Span. It's on spot. We're on site with Denard Span, nigga. Johan Santana. Motherfucking who's they coach? Dante, their head coach with the fucking beard. What's that nigga name, man?
Was Jim Leland? But not Jim Leland.
No, it wasn't Jim Leland. I don't remember the nigga name. But yeah, fuck all the mid-2000s Minnesota Twins. I just want to get that out there.
We can take it back. Fuck Kirby Puckett.
Congratulations, Joe Mauer.
He said, you guilty by association, nigga. Fuck all the Twins, nigga. Fuck Carlos Correa. Anyway, so pretty much, man, what I just wanted to quickly talk about is the hypocrisy of the Baseball Hall of Fame. I think all three of these guys are deserving. No matter how I feel about Joe Mauer, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Adrian Beltre, obviously. But you got guys like Gary Sheffield who should be in the fucking Hall of Fame. And we can talk about how you feel about Gary Sheffield off field, whatever, but his numbers are Hall of Fame worthy. And if you want to, first of all, I think just steroids in general, they should all make it because you can give me steroids today. I'm not hitting the ball out the fucking park. You still have to go out there and put the numbers up. Should there be an asterisk on their their plate, the plaque, whatever? Maybe. Yeah, that's fine. But they should be in. But I think it's hypocrisy. You got a guy in Gary Sheffield who was alleged to take steroids. He's not in, but you got a guy like David Ortiz who actually found that he did take it and he's in. It's all about perception, and I think it's bullshit. Courtney, what do you think about this whole just how they vote? I feel like it's a never-ending debate that we have every year. But what do you feel about that?
Well, for me, nothing is going to change until you change who was allowed to vote. That's the inherent problem with it. Also, I just find it so odd that the argument for excluding certain people is always the character argument, right? Because it doesn't matter what they did, in the game or outside of the game, right? Which is so funny to me because you have guys who were very likely racist. You got guys that were playing before color folks were even allowed to play baseball with them. You got Bud Selig in there who, was in charge during the steroid era, which is, again, so wild to me that the guy who led the charge is allowed to exist in that space, but none of the people who actually allowed for him to be there have access to that space. I just think it's all a crock of shit. And until we change who votes for the guys getting into the Hall of Fame, then nothing is going to change. Even if they have to go in with an asterisk, you cannot call it the Baseball Hall of Fame without having Barry Bonds, Billy Wagner, freaking Roger Clemens. You can't have the Baseball Hall of Fame without having the best baseball players of all time in it. It's not a real thing if you exclude certain people and include others.
Yep. Dante, close out with this one, man. What do you think about this?
This class was pretty weak. I think Adrian Beltre was, of course, he was well deserved. Hilton and Mauer, they're Ring of Honor, Hall of Very Good, but not Hall of Fame. And as far as the voters as a whole, I think it'll never change. But what you've seen is they dropped it from 15 years on the ballot to 10, and it takes 8 years to get your vote. So much like everything else in baseball, you got to wait for these old people to stop voting and these younger guys to get a vote, and that's going to change a lot of that. But one thing I will say is also this: get ready for the Hall of Fame to get watered down. I know we talk about the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame and how amazing it is, which it really is, but
because you run out of good names.
not only running out of good names, the way the game is played now and how it's so micromanaged, we probably won't get another guy who gets 3,000 hits anytime soon. We probably won't get a guy who gets 300 wins damn near ever. Like CC, who's the last 300 game winner? Like we don't have too many guys that are close. Yeah, Verlander. I think Verlander is the active leader, and he's not gonna get 300 wins, bro. Don't get me wrong. Everything he's done is amazing, longevity. He's not getting 300 wins. 3,000 hits. That shit is gonna be rough. Altuve is one of the leaders, but I don't know if he's gonna get there. So with like him, Freddie, those guys, bro. So as these numbers that have normally been like benchmarks for the Hall of Fame become more and more unattainable, you're gonna have to let in people who don't have those numbers. So you're going to see a lot of people who are like, why the fuck is he in the Hall of Fame? Yeah. But that's what it's going to come down to.
Also, just to circle back for your own edification, Justin Verlander has 257 wins. That ain't the next closest is Zach Greinke with 225, which I don't know if that means they're going to play baseball again.
Yeah, exactly.
His arm is jello. Like it's not going to happen.
Yeah. He's cooked, man. That's it. We got for that. We're gonna have much more baseball content as we get closer to the baseball season, and that's where Courtney and Dante and Mikey shine at. So we're gonna have more of that. Courtney, we know you got to bounce and enjoy your weekend, so let the people know where they get in tune with you.
Yeah, you can follow me on X/Twitter and on Instagram at 1-800-CALLABRO. As always, don't nobody give a damn about the Detroit Lions. I wish you all a wonderful, safe weekend. Oh, and I do have some picks that I have been doing some research on myself. I've been monitoring the lines. So I'll be also contributing to our degenerate tendencies with some gambling picks. So definitely follow me, and I'll be posting those sometime tomorrow.
Definitely get in tune with that. We will holler at you on Monday, Courtney.
Sounds good, y'all. Cheers.
Yep. We're going to get into our NBA coverage on this show. We are becoming an NBA program because we are heading into the NBA season. Well, the part of the NBA season where I pay attention to. So we're getting here, and we've got our NBA consultant who will be joining us each and every Monday. Pat Vito will be joining us doing his weekend in the association. You know what I'm saying? We'll be breaking out everything on that. So let's get into our NBA talk, man. It was a crazy week in the NBA. By the way, Cousin Dan, Fridays will be kicking off in about 30 minutes, so he'll be joining us. That's going to be hilarious. Let's talk about the Doc Rivers swindle that happened this week. The fucking Milwaukee Bucks have fired Adrian Griffin after a 30-13 start. This is something that reminded me of the David Black firing, which is like, it was 8 years ago at this point, which, that team was just as successful as this current Bucks team, record-wise. But there's two different ways I look at this. One, I don't have a problem with Adrian Griffin being fired because I don't have a problem with it because he lost the locker room. He lost the locker room. When you lose the locker room, it's just, DOA. There's nothing you can do there. This is something where as soon as he started, he faced, trouble. We all know the incident that happened with him and Terry Stotts. We all know just how terrible this defense is looking. We know they don't have the best defensive players. That's going to happen when we trade a guy of Drew Holiday's caliber. But they just, the effort wasn't there more than anything. And if Giannis don't want you there, you're pretty much gone. And I do think that this is something where I actually applaud the Bucks for getting it done and, nipping it in the bud right now because you want to be able to keep Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard did not sign an extension. I'm pretty sure his contract is up in like a year or two, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that.
Like 3 years.
3 years. But, we all know in the NBA, there's if nigga gets riled up, You know, there's that too. And also, Giannis also told these niggas, do not get it twisted. I will reevaluate where I stand with y'all every offseason. So you also have that. So I give them credit for actually doing the job of letting go of Adrian Griffin. Here's the problem I have. One, the guy you picked up. First of all, I gotta respect Doc Rivers, Chicago Maywood legend. The fact that he has squeezed everything out of that one championship he won 16 years ago. Not just him, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce. As much as I think Paul Pierce is great, I'm a Paul Pierce guy, but he talks like he is Dwayne Wade sometimes because of that one championship they won. So I'm saluting that. He is the only black coach in the NBA with white privilege, Doc Rivers. So I will give him credit for that. But this is not going to be the niggas going to get you over the hump. He's just not. We saw what he did with the Clippers. We saw what he did last year with the Sixers. He has a problem when it comes to actually getting the job done at those type of moments. And I don't feel like this is going to be anything that's going to change. And also, I need them to stand on what they standing on. Don't be going out here and saying, oh, it had nothing to do with the locker room and we love them. And Giannis is up there. Oh, yeah, I love Adrian Griffin, like stuttering and shit. Like, nigga, you're lying. We know exactly that there was a locker room issue. Just go out there and tell the truth about the situation. He's already gone, and just be real with it. So that's just kind of how I feel with it. I don't really think this is going to be something that's going to change the landscape too much because, like I said, they are the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference. But I also feel like this is Doc Rivers' last shot. It only, your lifeline only, goes so long. Even with a guy like Doc Rivers, if he can't get it done here, then shit. He might be back in the booth in like a couple years, but he has also his contract. He has a 4-season contract for $40 million for Doc Rivers. The good thing for NBA fans, we don't have to hear this nigga talk on ESPN anymore, which I thoroughly am going to enjoy. But Pav, what's your thought on, just Doc Rivers swindling another job and this whole move by the Bucks?
My thought on this is, first and foremost, I feel bad for Adrian Griffin. I feel bad for Adrian Griffin because Adrian Griffin did not get a fair shot. Number one, Coach Bud shouldn't have been fired. That's first and foremost, Coach Bud. I think Coach Bud being fired was a gross overreaction to their loss in the first round. For one, the last time the Bucks had a healthy basketball team, they won a championship. If you look at every single year since they won the championship, the next year, Middleton get hurt against the Bulls. His knee, he sprains the MCL, does whatever. Goes in the offseason, has surgery. He's not right the whole entire next year. He's not right. You go into the playoffs. Granted, Giannis was on the court, but he did fall out the fucking sky and bruise his tailbone and miss 2 games. Now, granted, Jimmy Butler was going nuclear on Drew Holiday. But my question is, why is Drew Holiday, who is a guard, having to guard Jimmy Butler, who was a forward in the first place? And also, this Miami Heat team was in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I know they had a down season, but that's the same team that went to the finals, the Eastern Conference Finals, the year before. Now, if you would have lost to the Bulls, fire everyone. You need to fire people, trade people. Everybody got to go because that shouldn't happen. But this Miami Heat team, you got 2 All-Stars on the team. You got Kyle Lowry, maybe future Hall of Famer Kyle Lowry. You got Spoelstra. Like, this wasn't some terrible franchise. So I thought firing Bud in the first place was a gross overreaction. Then you bring in Adrian Griffin, who is a rookie coach. Yeah. He's never been a head coach before at any level. Literally, I'm on Wikipedia looking at it. Milwaukee Bucks assistant in 2010. Chicago Bulls assistant. Orlando Magic assistant. Oklahoma City Thunder assistant. Toronto Raptors assistant. At least with Nick Nurse, if I'm not mistaken, when the Raptors hired Nick Nurse, number one, didn't nobody on that team.
Nick Nurse was who Giannis wanted.
No, Nick Nurse. No, Giannis didn't want Nick Nurse.
Oh, that's what it was. Giannis didn't want Nick Nurse.
Didn't want Nick Nurse, and then he signed off on Adrian Griffin. He didn't want Nick Nurse. But at least when Nick Nurse got hired by the Raptors, number one, the Raptors hadn't won a championship. So none of them know what it feels like to win a ring. None of them know. And Nick Nurse had been a head coach before. At least he's been a head coach at a certain level before. Adrian Griffin had never been a head coach. So you come into a situation with a team who won a championship with the same core still being there. It's not like they won a ring and then broke the whole. It's not like if you go and coach the Raptors where everybody who won that ring is gone. No, the same course. It was just 2 years ago. Like I know we like that. Like it was just 2 years ago. So he comes into this situation, and then Giannis wanted him, and I feel like Giannis never gave him the respect as a coach. Like I'm looking at timeouts, Giannis sitting on the damn scores table. What the fuck? Like literally, Adrian Griffin in the huddle. Like go back and watch the NCAA tournament. Adrian Griffin in the huddle trying to call a play. Giannis sitting on the scores table. Giannis checking himself back in games. What? You making the job hard for the man? Like he can't even. Now, granted, I'm sure he was still learning, trying to figure it all out. The same way players need to develop, coaches need to develop too. Also, when he got signed, Drew Holiday was still on his basketball team. They hadn't made the Dame Lillard trade yet. So Giannis, you going up there complaining about the defense? Have you looked at the personnel? You got Dame Lillard and fucking Malik Beasley in your backcourt. Who are you gonna guard? Who are like? You gotta know more about basketball than me. You play it every day. Who are you about to guard? Brook Lopez, shout out Brook Lopez. I love Brook Lopez. That brother, 36 years old. He ain't got much longer to do this. Like, just look at the personnel that you actually have on the team. Like, and then the offense was still fine, but you mad about the defense, and it had only been a half a season. Now, granted, having said all of that, I do think he needed to be fired, because there was no possible way he was going to be able to garner the respect of that locker room. Like I said, he's a rookie head coach, and everybody there think they know more about basketball than he do because they just won a championship. At least with Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers we can say what we want to say about Doc Rivers. He's a Hall of Fame coach. I think he's third in wins all time. He has won a championship. Like he been milking that ring forever, but that ring is probably one of the more significant rings of the last 30 years. And I do think that ring put us into a new era of basketball, which is why it's so significant and talked about to this day. But he's done all that. And again, no matter what you want to say, you may say he don't finish the job, but at least Doc Rivers always has teams that are in contention. You ain't gonna never see a Doc Rivers team that at least ain't contending. Now, they may fuck it all up, but at least they're going there and they are contending. I don't think he's going to come in there and like do something more magical than what Adrian Griffin did. I think the main thing that he'll do is respect. I guarantee you Giannis ain't going to check himself back in no games with Doc on the sideline. That shit not going to happen. I bet Giannis ain't going to be sitting on the scores table with Doc on the sidelines. That shit ain't going to happen. So I think that's the main thing that he will do. So from that standpoint, I like the hiring. I don't think he's gonna come in there and do something incredible scheme wise, because like what you really gonna do? I mean, I guess maybe you go back to the drop coverage thing, the way that they were playing defense before they did switch the defensive tendencies a little bit, but at the same time, you probably lost the best defensive player, so you probably got to do that. But I guess all that being said, I like the hiring. I just think that Doc will bring a certain level of respect to the locker room that Adrian Griffin just wasn't able to bring.
Dante, what's your thought on Doc Rivers swindling another job again?
I'm tired of this nigga, man. Like, I think somebody else should have got a shot. I don't know if it's the Sam Cassell or any other well-qualified assistants out there, but nah, bro. I know we talk about getting respect from the players, and I do get that. I understand, but no, I think we should be done with the Doc experience. I love Doc. I think he, like you said, he is a Hall of Fame coach. That goes without saying. Say what you want. But, I mean, when you look at the amount of Game 7 failures, the amount of 3-1 blown leads, like, this coach has had repeatedly. You feel me? Yes, you have a talented roster, but there were so many other ways you could have went. But to go for the Doc Rivers, I mean, it's like you said, he's one of the few brothers. But I think it's because he's a former player. That's part of the reason he gets that leeway. He's in that. Yeah, that nigga be getting. He's in that NBA inner sanctum, and he's been there for a while. So, I mean, shout out to him for keeping a job. One of the realest things he ever did was give his weak ass son that extension that he didn't deserve, that kept him in the league.
Saved his career, and that was his son. And they're like, "Why he do that, nigga? That was my child. I would have did the same thing. Fuck y'all. Like, I got the bag. Signed this contract." But no, they shouldn't have done this. I think they have the talent to overcome Doc's deficiencies, but it's not going to happen, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm with y'all. Y'all hit the nail on the head on that. If anything, I do feel like just off the respect and just the locker room vibes, it'll help a lot. I mean, these niggas did a whole fucking dance routine, and the fucking Bucks social media tweeted it out right after that. I don't know if it had anything to do with Doc, but it was just funny ass timing. Let's go to our next topic, man. Let's talk about All-Star. All-Star game will be in Indianapolis the asshole of the Midwest, in a couple weeks. They announced the starters for the Eastern Conference. It will be Joel Embiid. It will be Jason Tatum. It will be who's the other front? Giannis. I said Giannis. And of course, the backcourt will be Damian Lillard and Tyrese Halliburton, who will be starting on the Western Conference. It will be, of course, LeBron James making his record 20 straight All-Star appearances, which is asinine. That nigga has been making the fucking All-Star game since I was 16. And then you also have Jokic, Nikola Jokic. You have Kevin Durant. In the backcourt, you got Luka Doncic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, man. So, of course, this is the part where we all talk about snubs. Now, we all know the starters have, it's majority fan voting, but there's also coaching and other things like that, player vote. So, I've been hearing a lot from Knicks fans that Jalen Brunson was snubbed, and Warrior fans, Steph Curry was snubbed. We're gonna bring up some numbers here. So Tyrese Halliburton, starting in the second All-Star game, first time starting. He is averaging 23.6 points per game, 12.6 assists, which is the leading number one in assists in the NBA, and he's shooting 49.6 from the field. And the Pacers are the 6th seed right now. Damian Lillard is 25.3 points per game, 6 assists per game. He's shooting 42.6 field goal percentage. And Jalen Brunson is 26.5 points per game, 6.4 assists, and he's shooting 47.8 from the field. And the Knicks are the 4th team in the Eastern Conference standings. On the West, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 31.1 points per game. He also leads the NBA with the most 30-point games by anybody currently in the league. He has 5.6 rebounds a game, 6.4 assists, and he's shooting 54.6 from the field this season. He has the Thunder as the number 2 seed in the West. Steph Curry, 26.8 points per game, 4.2 rebounds, 4.9 assists. He's shooting 44.8% from the field. I don't think Steph was robbed at all. Like, I don't even think this is a conversation. As much as I love Steph, I am shocked he wasn't voted in by the fans, that the fan vote didn't overwhelm and get him in there. That thing I am shocked by. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, man, what the Thunder are doing this year is, I think we all had them as playoff teams. I definitely didn't have them as a number 2 seed. I didn't have Minnesota as a number 1 either. So they've been on charge for that. Shai has been one of the best young players in the league for the last couple of years now, but now that is matching with wins on the court. And he's shooting 54% from the field. You can't argue that with 31 points per game. So I don't think that is a conversation at all. I think Shai 100% deserves that, and I'm not even going to bring up Luka. Obviously, Luka should be starting there. But the East is a little bit more dicey to me, man. I'm not going to sit up here and say that Jalen Brunson was robbed or snubbed, but I do think I would have rather seen him there than Damian Lillard. I think he's having a better season than Damian Lillard. The load that he's had to carry, pause, has been heavier, pause again, than what Damian Lillard's had to carry. Damian Lillard's playing with arguably the best player in basketball, and Jalen Brunson is playing with fucking Julius Randle.
So who's an all-star?
But he's Julius Randle, man. Like, come on, dog. Like, he's Julius Randle. We all know that Julius Randle's a tweak. I don't fall for these little regular season barrages. We're gonna be saying they need to get rid of that nigga in the playoffs. We all know that's gonna happen. So I do think that he should have been over Dame. No, Tyrese Halliburton's got to be there. Now, whether he plays or not, because he's gonna be hurt, he's gonna be out for 3 weeks. So I don't know if that lines up with the All-Star game. And also they're home in Indiana. I think they're going to want the superstar of the team to play there. But I do think that Jalen Brunson should be there. But I don't know if I'm willing to call this a snub. And Steph, not at all. Pat, what do you think about, Jalen Brunson and Steph? Do you think they were snubbed?
I'm not even addressing the Steph Curry, because that's just, I'm literally not even addressing that. Like, I don't think, like, because Shai plays in Oklahoma City and people probably don't watch Oklahoma City, I don't think people actually realize what Shai is doing. And then also the team he's doing it on. Ain't like it's a bunch of veterans out there. Now, granted, they play good. Jalen Williams is playing nice. Chet, he's playing nice. Giddy doing his thing. Dort is nice, but
out on bail fresh out of jail.
out on bail fresh out of jail doing his thing. But obviously, like, there's not veterans out there. Like, Shai is averaging 32 points. He should be in the MVP conversation. He should get some votes for the MVP award. He's leading the league in steals by a lot. I don't think we realize that. He's leading the league in steals by a lot. I think if for more, Steph not being voted as a starter is kind of just like the end of an era. Like, it's just new guys, bro. It's just we at a point which I can think of a few guards that should probably get votes over Steph. Steph will still be in the game for sure, be in the game, but I think Ed should be over Steph. I think De'Aaron should be over Steph. It's a few guys I can think of. Booker should be over Steph. It's a few guys I can think of that should probably be over Steph, but Steph will still be in the game. As far as Jalen Brunson goes, yes, he got snubbed, but who gives a fuck? I'm saying the reason I'm saying who gives a fuck, bro, is because Dame to play 13 years and ain't never started, bro. Let Dame start, G.
Oh, I didn't peep Dame ain't never started.
Dame played 13 years and ain't never started, bro. Let Dame start,
That's
G.
a good point.
Let that man start. Yes, he's having a better season than Dame. Yes, all of that. But Jalen's still gonna be in the game. We also can't act like Jalen ain't out there with nobody. I know we all have our things that we say about Julius Randle, but we had to point Julius Randle, which is actually good. He's good. He's good. He's not great, but he's good. They also picked up OG Anunoby, who for the past since they made that trade, OG has been probably the best role player in the league. So like, yes, technically he did get snubbed, but it's Dame, bro. Like that man ain't never started. For all that man is giving basketball, let that man start. G. He's still gonna be in the game. Who gives a fuck?
Dante, what do you feel about this?
I'm tired of Knicks fans bitching. So personally, I don't care. Like, leave his ass on the bench. Like, get the fuck out of here. Just like with the whole everybody being mad. Anytime somebody from the WNBA says that this man can't, be the lead dog on a championship team, everybody gets in their feelings about it. It's a fact, my nigga. There are two small people that have led their team to a championship. One of them is Isaiah Thomas, and the other one is Steph Curry, and he had KD 2 of them times, bro. So, like, the little man shit don't work. Like, it's just the facts of the NBA. So I'm tired of people bitching about him. He's a great player. Mark Cuban messed up. He should have re-signed him. But it is what it is, bro. Like, the All-Star game is going to be just fine. Dame deserved it. Like you said, he's doing what he's doing. And finally being in the conference out of fucking Wardell's shadow, he deserves to start. Let him start, bro. It is what it is.
Somebody in the chat room said, let's go to the chat room, who said something about Pavy. Here we go. He said, Pavy showing love the Booker. I know I'm going to have a good night.
I rock with Book, man. I just thought Zach LaVine was better 3-4 years ago.
I did too. I do not think that anymore. I hope they ship that nigga in Detroit.
Either.
But I just want to throw a quick chaos bomb in there real quick. And this is question for Pav. Do you think LeBron should be starting? Takeaway fan vote. Should LeBron be starting?
Who would start over him?
I don't know.
Let me think on top of my head. Like who would?
Time. Is Anna guard? They got Anna as a guard or a forward.
Guard.
All right, so never mind. I would say Ant, but no.
I don't think anybody should. I don't think there's anybody who should be starting over him. I know that they're not having the best season, but I actually don't think who should be starting over him.
You don't think Kawhi should be starting over? They having a better year. He been hooping.
Yes. I do think Kawhi Leonard is having a better season than LeBron James. But when you do the naked eye test with the numbers, like LeBron is still giving you 26, 8, and 8. Like LeBron he's a stat merchant. He know how to put up numbers at this point. Like he know how to the man been playing 21 years. He know how to get 20 points. He know how to get 8 boards. He know how to get 8 assists. But yes, if there's anybody who should be starting, it's Kawhi Leonard. But it's an all-star game. Kawhi gonna be out there doing post phase, G. We don't want to we don't want to see that shit, G. At least LeBron gonna do a cool dunk or two. Like, yeah.
That's how I feel about Jalen Brunson. Like at least Dan gonna be shooting from half court.
Yeah, at least he gonna shoot from half court. Brunson gonna be out there running pick and roll. We don't want to see that shit, G.
We 5 minutes away from Cousin Dan, so I just want to talk about state of LA. Actually,
Lakers. No, save that shit.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till Dan come on. We gonna save
so we can lie. So we can come on this podcast, look us in our eyes, and lie. Save that. We are not talking about that.
I'm gonna save that until he get on here. We in there 5 minutes. So just quickly, I want to talk about the two career highs that happened this week. We had Joel Embiid drop 70 points this week. I don't even remember who the fuck it was against.
The Spurs.
I know it was the Spurs. Oh yeah, that's what we was talking about on the Monday show, Dante. Where we was like, Bang was like, these niggas got Wemby versus Embiid on
NBA TV.
On NBA TV. What are we doing, Adam Silver? But he scored 70. Cat had 62 in a loss to, was it Charlotte? I think it was Charlotte they lost to.
And got benched at the end of the game too.
And got benched. And then Chris Finch went up there and was like, that was some of the worst basketball I've ever seen in my life. It was the worst basketball I've seen in my life. And Anthony Edwards was like, yeah, we played soft today. So my question here is, I look at it like this. I saw these scoring, and I saw even with Embiid, it was on the 18th anniversary of Kobe's 81. And it's just something to me where, because the game is so offensive now, I don't look at those the same. I didn't look at these performances, and mainly Cat, because them niggas lost, and think, oh, this is NBA history. Now, Pat, am I just being an old head about this, or what is your take on the two scoring barrages that happened this week?
Nah, I mean, this is gonna sound insane, but even like 20 points ain't what it was 30 years ago. 30 points ain't what it was 30 years, 40 points, 50 points, 60. Donovan Mitchell scored 70 last year. He scored 60 and a half. People just actually just score more points. Like the game is more offensive. It's more possessions in a game now than what it was 30 years ago. It doesn't make it not incredible. I mean, somebody just scored 70 points. Like that's still incredible, but it's not like scoring. But it's not like when Mike scored 69 points against Cleveland in 1990. Like it's not the same, but I mean, it's still incredible. I mean, cat shit was disgusting though. Like the reason why cat shit was disgusting because there was a point in time in which they were clearly just trying to force feed him the ball so he could score more points, and then they lost the game. So cat shit was disgusting. Cat shit should be deleted. But Embiid, he got it in the Florida game. Like it wasn't a super blowout, so there was reason for him to be in the game. But yeah, people just happen to score more points nowadays. Just is what it is. I mean, look at how many people are averaging 20. It's like 35 people.
Yeah, it is true. Dante, what do you think about these two going crazy this week?
Oh, that shit was super huff. I'm not gonna lie. Like I told you how disappointed I've been with the NBA product as a whole. And like Cat, that you can keep that. Force feeding somebody the ball, that's never something that people that actually want to watch. And just the way everybody gets buckets these days, bro. These numbers, like you said, truly are tainted. Like a lot of times when you watching these games where people like getting force fed the ball and they going to get buckets, what it remind me of, and it's crazy to mention this on this day, but one of the things I never liked was Kobe's last game against Utah. Like that was a nasty game.
You didn't like the moment? You didn't like the moment, bro?
Because it was orchestrated. Like they made that happen. They kept giving him the rock. You feel me? I didn't like it.
Once the deep bass drop 50, I knew shit was getting dark.
Bro, everybody's getting buckets, and this shit is like that shit was nasty, bro. So no, like you said, Embiid, shout out to his 70, but no, I'm not gonna remember it. Until you just said it, Pavy, I forgot Donovan Mitchell scored 70 last season.
3 people.
Like,
James scored 70. Donovan scored 70. Like somebody's gonna score 81 points within the next 3 years. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. That is true. Somebody is gonna do that, and I feel like with it's kind of like, even if you look at like passing numbers in the NFL, like niggas just throw the ball more now. Like that's just the difference between them. And and also I think it's also the niggas who did it too. Like it's not that we all know Embiid's probably gonna be MVP again. Like Embiid has been on another level. I don't think anybody respects Cat. It ain't got nothing to do with Cat hooping. Like we all know Cat can hoop. I don't think niggas fuck with Cat, and it's just like fuck about that 62. And then when you throw 62 points out there, and your coach go up and say this is one of the worst basketball games I've ever seen played in my life, it takes some importance off of it. Like so, niggas just ain't gonna give a fuck about it, man. The NBA product, even last night, and by the way, Rivals Week is so fucking forced. It is so fucking forced.
Like 3 actual rivals.
It's on like 3 actual rivals, and last night was an Eastern Conference Finals rematch, and it was a fucking blowout. Like it was a rout, and it's like we getting blowouts every fucking night. I wonder how many though out of the triple header tomorrow. You got Knicks and Heat, you've got Jokic versus Embiid, and you got Lakers Warriors. I wonder how many of those games gonna be blowouts tomorrow. That is what I'm really looking forward to see, because
Nuggets Sixers is gonna be a blowout. The other 2 games might be solid.
You think who's gonna blow out who?
Probably the Sixers, but that's if Embiid play. I know like Embiid had like a knee issue against the Pacers, but probably the Sixers. Jokic wins the matchup. Embiid wins the matchup against Jokic pretty much every time they play. I think Jokic is a better team player, but Embiid gonna go out there and get like fucking 50.
And we are now here for the moment of truth that everybody has been waiting for. We can get that graphic up real quick. It is Cousin Dan Fridays, which everybody looks forward to on this show, man.
This a real.
You never seen that artwork?
No, this
Yeah,
is
that is. Oh, that's a real picture.
that's a real.
We've got Dan here. Dan, what's going on, cuzzo?
What's up? What's up, cuz? What's going on, everybody?
What's going on,
What's up,
Pat? Pat,
Dan?
Happy
What's up, Dan?
Friday.
How
Happy
you feeling,
Friday.
Dan?
What you call me?
How you feeling, Dan? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. You know,
You
I don't mess with the ops like that too much.
Okay, okay,
I'm good, man.
okay.
I just want to let you know that we had a topic on here. We were going to talk about the state of Los Angeles basketball. And Pavy said, and I quote, "No, wait till this nigga come on the show so he can look at our eyes and lie." And I feel like it's a perfect tie-in to your first topic. So we're going to talk about the state of Los Angeles hoops. So let's first go with the Los Angeles Lakers. I think that is the team that people give a fuck about. Most nobody gives a fuck about the Clippers, really. So we're going to go with the Lakers. The Lakers right now are tied are the 10th seed in the NBA right now. I don't have the exact record, but I know them niggas is like 2 games under 500. They had a win last night, blowout win over the Chicago Bulls. It said by 10, but that was not what the score really was last night. They kicked the shit out of them. But you got them right now. LeBron James has only missed 3 games. Anthony Davis has only missed 5. And their record right here is they're a 9th seed. My correction. 9th seed, tied for 9th seed. 23-23, so at 500. I'm going to go to Pat first. About
Dan.
You want to go Dan? Okay, Dan. You want to go Dan first. Dan.
Yeah.
What do you think is the problem with this team? They have the exact same record they had this time last year. Are you worried? Do you think there's any differences compared to last season?
Yeah, all right. So, I mean, this brings me into my first topic, which is fire Darvin Ham.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, it's with the Lakers, you know, we obviously always we keep the lights on in the building at ESPN, us and the Cowboys, right? So obviously it's always a lot of scrutiny, right? But just disregarding all that shit and just looking at the actual team itself, man, and the product on the floor, I don't see much wrong with the players. It's the fucking lineups, bro. He's not setting players up for success. He fucking benched D'Lo, which at the time D'Lo was playing like shit, but it's like you're not putting him in the correct situations. You put him in the correct situations, and this motherfucker trade deadline D'Lo is greater than Michael Jordan, bro. Like the motherfucker
trade deadline D'Lo,
bro. And it's just like this is coaching, man. This is simple. It's fucking coaching. Anthony Davis playing out his fucking mind. In my opinion, he should be starting the All-Star game over LeBron, but I get it. LeBron is the face. Totally understand. Anthony Davis has been far and away our best player on both sides of the fucking court, right? AD's hooping. Bron does what he do. You know, we don't have to worry about Bron. Austin doing his thing. D'Lo's playing well. And it's just like, we should have like 8 more wins, but we don't, bro. And I'm just to the point where it has to be the coach. Like, you look at a team that will come out, blow a fucking team out like the Bulls, right? The Bulls blew us out, if I'm not mistaken, the first time we met them. And it's like, these are the same fucking teams, bro. Like, we're too good to fall into these traps. I was against the hire from day one. I think he's always been the problem. Now, outside of fucking Russ was just terrible. Outside of that, man, like, he's been the problem. I didn't think this was a job to learn on the fly, which is what he's fucking doing. He just keeps his hands in his pockets the whole fucking time, man. And this motherfucker with that knot on his head sometimes makes me feel like whoever put the hit out on his ass in Detroit would have finished the job. I'm just going to leave it at that and pass it to the op.
Who made you go with that first?
I have a question. I know we're not using beating the Bulls as a barometer for how good.
Not at all.
I know we're not doing that
Not
today.
at all. Not at all.
No, okay. Now, look, I do think, okay. Yes, Darvin Ham has his faults. Obviously, another guy who's a rookie head coach. Yes, he's learning the job. He is having his faults. But everybody we talking about now, granted, also he was a guy who didn't play. He just now finally played the lineup from the Western
Conference Finals.
From the Western, which I think was a complete admiration anyway. But that's a whole other topic for a whole other day. They wouldn't have beat Memphis if Memphis had centers. All of their centers was dead, but it's fine.
But then how do you expect being Golden State, the fucking NBA champions?
Listen, Golden State, fine, fair, good matchup. They wouldn't have beat Memphis if Memphis had centers, but that's a whole other conversation. Then when they finally played a good team, they got smoked.
What the fuck is Jaren Jackson Jr.?
He get 4 rebounds a fucking game.
Steven Adams don't move the needles. Steven Adams,
Brandon Clark, they had fucking Xavier
Brandon Clark, come
Tillman
on, man.
guarding Anthony
Come on,
Davis for 6 games straight. But that's hold that.
They had the defensive player of the year on him, and he got cooked. That's what happened.
He finally played the roster. But in my opinion, look at the fucking pieces. You signed players on minimums. Torian Prince is a minimum player. Cam Reddish ain't found a spot in the league yet. Look at the roster for what the roster is doing. For what
TP's been. Do you watch the Lakers?
Yes, I live in LA. I see them all the time.
Okay, no, I'm not talking about seeing them on fucking graffiti. Do you watch the Lakers?
I just saw the motherfuckers 4 days ago in real life.
Okay, so TP's been wishy-washy. Cam Reddish is great on defense, bro. It is not like you can't
look.
We will beat a fucking team like we just.
What should they?
Can I finish?
Beat? Okay, go ahead.
Who did they beat? Nick, we beat your beloved Clippers.
Who should they beat?
We beat the.
Who should they be? Who should they be? How good should they be?
It's the the weak ass teams that we just come out flat for, bro. It's coaching. We beat the Thunder. We beat teams like the Thunder. We beat teams like the Wolves. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just like we'll come out against a team like fucking Utah and just there's no effort. They come out flat, and it's just like, bro, this is coaching. At this point,
it's not coaching.
You can't tell me.
It's just the personnel.
Okay.
Gee, I love LeBron James to death. He's
You're
39 years old.
Fan,
he
bro.
can't do this. Who they playing way better basketball than the fucking Lakers?
You're basically trying to sell
Dan. Look at me.
Look at me. To a black teenager
Dan,
right
look
now,
at me.
bro.
Look at me.
You're an op, bro. Why would I believe a
Look at me.
Clippers
Look
fan?
at me. The Clippers are the better team than the Lakers. All bias aside, the Clippers are the better team than the Lakers. All bias aside,
they are.
Okay, so what?
They have better personnel.
Hold on. Give me a basketball explanation for why the Lakers are a better team than the Clippers right now.
Who said
like
that?
Who said
the Lakers are better than the Clippers?
No, I'm asking you. You said the Lakers better than the Clippers.
No, I said the Clippers are a better team than the Lakers.
Okay.
I said the Clippers have a fucking super team, bro. Like how don't they have a better team?
I fucking LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Okay,
you think
according to you, that's not like a good duo. You think Kawhi Leonard is better than LeBron James?
He is right now, motherfucker.
Currently, he is. He's having a better.
In the year of our Lord.
And what? Did you see the fucking stats the last time they played each other? Can I ask you a question?
In the year of our Lord, 2024.
Okay. All bias aside, all bullshit aside. Did you see the stats the last time they played each other?
Yeah, sure.
And he held that motherfucker to 0 for 7.
Yeah,
what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Okay.
LeBron is averaging 25, 7, and 7. Kawhi is averaging 23, 6, and 3.
He's shooting 55%,
universe does that say
44% from the field. He's playing much better defense because LeBron ain't guarding nobody no more. And I love LeBron.
LeBron just shut Kawhi down. He held your GOAT to 0 and 7. A 40-year-old fucking man. What are you talking about, bro? And we would have spanked y'all ass if LeBron played the last time. You know that.
No, they wouldn't.
That's the fuck we would have, bro.
Now listen.
What do you y'all barely beat us, bro? What are you saying, bro? Stop it, man.
Yeah.
When LeBron when LeBron locks in to play defense, he can still guard somebody. The issue is he don't do it enough. That's one of the problems with Kawhi. He don't do it enough. Why the last time he played Kawhi, he shut him down there? We'll see what happens next time. We'll see what happens next time.
Here's my take on the Lakers. I'm not gonna sit here and say that Darvin Ham was a good coach because I don't think he's a good coach either. A lot of that niggas lineups don't make no fucking sense. But I think they have an others problem. That's the problem. They have an others problem. It's not.
I think health was the first problem. Okay?
Yeah, but KD and not KD, but AD and LeBron have missed combined 8 games? They've played majority of the damn games.
No, I'm not talking about them two, but I'm talking about like the others have been in and out of shit. And then Gabe was supposed to be a huge part of our fucking life.
I told you that shit wasn't gonna work.
Pat Riley let a nigga walk. Yeah, but he also was shooting like 2001 AI in the playoffs last year.
Like, he was going crazy. He wasn't going to do that.
We don't know what he did. The motherfucker only played like 4 games. We don't know what he's gonna be for the Lakers.
Well, I think it's gonna be a Kendrick Nunn thing. But this is the thing I'm saying. Like, to me, it looks number one. I think the biggest issue is Austin Reeves ain't what he was last year. Like, is Austin Reeves?
He's not that good. If Austin Reeves played for the Orlando Magic, ain't no way he getting that money.
No, of course not. He's not, because he wouldn't have been on the playoffs to even get that fucking money.
He averaged like 18 points a game.
You're lying.
Lee's
You are
not averaging
absolutely
18
lying.
points
He's
a
not
game.
better than Jalen Suggs. He ain't better than Franz Wagner. He ain't
Again,
better than Wendell Carter.
you
He ain't better
two
than Paolo.
work for the fucking Clippers. Why would I
You are
listen to
just
you?
lying. You are
What is
lying.
He did not work
Why
for
would
the
Austin
Clippers.
Reeves average 18
You're
points for
selling
Orlando?
the policeman's ball to a black teenager right now, bro. I don't give a fuck about what the ops got to say. Y'all are ops.
You are lying. You're a liar.
All right, man.
Why would Austin Reeves average 18 in Orlando?
Because he get more looks, man. He get more.
He
chance
get more
to shoot
looks.
the ball.
With
Just because
Franz
he get more
Wagner
moves,
and
I mean, he's
Paolo.
gonna make them. He
I don't
also
know
gonna
why
get.
y'all think Austin Reeves is ass, bro.
I didn't
No,
say
I don't think
ass.
Austin Reeves.
I don't know why you
I
don't
was told
like.
he was
No.
going to be an all-star this year.
This
People
nigga,
told him he was
this
gonna be
nigga
all-star.
was he was playing like the Holy Ghost in the playoffs, so he dropped a little bit, and I think that has something to do with it. Torian Prince was never
I
a
think
good
it
signing
has,
from the beginning.
has a lot to do with like the lineups and
That's something
not
to do
starting
with-
him to start
But
the year out. And
I'm not
We
saying
have-
that.
and
I
then
don't-
benching him and then bringing him back. But you know,
why
I'm
we have
not saying
film
that.
on you.
Here's also the question that I feel like Laker fans really got asked them. What do you expect them to do this year? Do I think that they're going to miss the playoffs? No. If you put them in the first round series against the Thunder or the Wolves, I'm taking the Lakers just off experience alone. They can beat the Suns.
and the Clippers, and they
They
can beat the fucking Clippers.
I think if Clippers are healthy,
We
they
are
beat
a
them.
nightmare matchup for them motherfuckers. And
I
they
don't nightmare.
choke.
I don't know about nightmare. I think there's
Okay.
always the
Okay.
biggest issue with the Clippers to me has always been health. If
No,
they're
now they got
healthy,
James Harden and Russ on that bench.
yeah, but James,
Y'all gonna choke
Russ has
that
been
fucking
playing
shit
well.
up, bro.
Russ has been playing well off the bench. James Harden, I'm not a James Harden fan. It's been
Russ
well
been playing
documented.
well.
I'm
What the
not a
fuck,
James
man?
Harden fan.
He
But
played
as
18
past
minutes a
this,
game.
he has tweak insurance. Like that nigga's not going to be the guy who's going to be shooting the basketball towards the end of the game.
Who is
So
his
I
tweak
think-
insurance? Paul George, proven winner. Paul George.
Okay, let's. Paul George gets way too much shit. Like first of all, like
Yeah.
Paul George has been
What
a
is
three
he? He doesn't get.
bro.
He gets what he deserves because he's always been a choke artist. What do we say?
When has Paul George actually ever choked?
When was he supposed to
Bro.
win?
Yeah, when was
Besides
he
the
supposed to-
pandemic year, which fine. When was he
So-
supposed to win?
He was supposed to win.
about to lie.
Let y'all tell it during the
I'm a-
fucking easiest, most non-stressful, purest form of basketball we've ever seen.
I said
We'll
the
be-
And then
pandemic.
when they lost, all of a sudden the bubble didn't matter. But it's okay. Okay.
We'll
That
be all
motherfucker
let's
was up 20, hitting fucking the side of the backboard to close out a fat Slovenian and goddamn it, Jamal Murray. Stop it, man. Stop.
Let's,
Stop acting like this motherfucker don't choke, bro.
let's move on to the next topic because we will be here all day arguing about this. Dan, go to your second point over here.
I go to my second point. I just want y'all to know y'all have Amir Coffee in y'all rafters instead of fucking championships. So
You have Cam
Don't
Reddish playing pivotal minutes.
it don't matter.
What the
motherfucker.
fuck?
Y'all hang players instead of
the fuck?
championships. That is nasty business, sir.
What the fuck?
Fucking Clippers fan.
Jackson
that
Hayes
game.
is employed.
Bro. Amir Coffee is in the rafters, bro. You go to Staples, you see
You
fucking
depend
Amir
on
Coffee.
Cam Reddish
That
to stop
is-
people.
That is a war crime, bro. It's gonna be like 30 of y'all in that new arena too. That's nasty, bro. Y'all made that white man spend all that money for nothing. Ain't nobody going to that shit.
All right, let's go to the next topic.
All right, man. My next topic, we're gonna get into some football, man, some local shit. It's called Scramble Boy, Where Art Thou? If y'all don't know, man, I call Justice Field Scramble Boy because I mean, fuck, I don't have to explain that. So here's my thing, man. I'm getting sick of this shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And this is at Mike Pillars or at Please Say the Baby, whatever the fuck his name is on social media, man. He goes back and forth. Like, I feel like personally, a lot of Bears fans don't want to admit Scramble Boy is like not the guy. I think y'all are really playing identity politics. Like, it's like y'all embarrassed to like move on, but stop the bullshit, bro. This motherfucker ain't through for over 2,600 yards in 3 years. I don't know what else the fuck y'all need to see. I'm tired of people telling me to stop trusting my lying ass eyes and believe them. Y'all, listen. Y'all gonna draft Maserati Marv and turn that motherfucker into a conversion van from out west, bro. If Scramble Boy is throwing that motherfucker the ball, ain't nobody trying to run block. I don't fuck with the Bears or their fans. Even me as an op can see that Caleb Williams, it's time to fucking move on, bro. Stop the bullshit, bro. That motherfucker dropped back in the game 44 times and had 160 yards through the air, bro. What are we doing here, bro? Y'all motherfuckers got to.
I mean, I don't ever remember
or
when
repent.
when is
Admit you're
Jeffrey
wrong.
ever thrown 40? I don't remember
That's
Justin
literally
going
never
above
happened.
44.
but,
That's literally never happened.
That's
I
never
want
happened.
I
Dante.
can find you the game right now. You think I'm lying?
Nigga,
No,
I go to all
no.
of them. I've never seen that
no
nigga
way.
go for 35.
That
They
literally never
let that
happened.
man throw the ball.
They never let that man
Okay.
44
Okay.
times. Hell no.
Yeah,
Never.
no.
No.
I would tell him
y'all
that
go ahead and
Dante.
rebuttal while I find y'all the exact game. It just happened like fucking.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, the shit is crazy how we always say with Justin, and like he hasn't done X, Y, and Z in 3 seasons. The first season he didn't start until week 7.
Okay.
The second season you stripped down the whole roster, and he was throwing to me, you, Pavy, and fucking Scott.
Now
so
he got
I mean,
DJ Moore
and DJ Moore just had
People-
92 catches, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. Like DJ Moore had a great season, as much as people keep
most
saying.
of that is Yak, but okay.
The issue,
We're not talking about
the
DJ
issue,
Moore. We talk about your
the issue is the offense, my nigga. The issue is the offense itself. Like
Also,
when you
Justin
talk
missed
the Bears-
5 games this year.
Yeah, he missed 5 games this year.
All right,
Remember,
man.
then,
All right.
talking about the Bears
That's
for the past 2
3,000 yards
seasons.
there.
Time out. The past 2 seasons, the Bears have been dead last in receiver separation. As much as we talk about these powerful offenses in the league, if you look at every top offense, everybody that's number 1 up there, their receivers actually get separation. So it's
DJ Moore don't do that.
It's not just, no. DJ Moore. That's
You don't
literally
get to
it.
no weapons excuse.
That's literally
Not after
it.
that motherfucker
Come
up
out.
north was just throwing to some
Time
12-year-old.
And he has a hell of a coach, do he not? Is LaFleur not a great
does.
offensive coach?
Shit,
Right, bro. That shit, man. I understand.
You still gotta make the throws. This motherfucker
I
throwing
know.
off his back foot on a dot. Stop it.
I do think as Bears fans, we shoot Justin too much bail. But at the same time, to just say he can't do X, Y, and Z when he's never been put in a position to actually succeed, I can't give you that. I can't give you that, bro.
By the way, I just
so
want to say when I
you
said this
think he's
last
the
week,
guy?
Dante almost cussed me out when I said we shoot just too much bill. Just want to
No. In certain situations, because I think, like I said, I always been honest about he fumbled the ball too much, and sometimes he hesitates. But I think a lot of that hesitation was aided by the fact he didn't trust anybody out there besides DJ Moore and Cole Kmet.
So what
Right.
was the hesitation?
I'm waiting. I'm waiting on the game. He put it up 44 times. I'm waiting on this game. I ain't that man. Ain't never
I'm
thrown
trying to
the
get
ball.
you. Hold on. I will bet you $1,000 fucking dollars that I can find the exact game. Give me 1 second. But beyond that, I am. But beyond that, what I'm saying is, how the fuck? Okay, so you only get 1 or 2 elite weapons, bro. I don't know why this motherfucker needs the greatest show on turf to show us he's an adequate quarterback in the NFL, dog.
We're not saying he do, G. We're not saying he do.
My point over the last couple of weeks has been I feel like we shoot Justin too much bill, and also this nigga, he just might be a guy who needs a lot. He might be a system guy who needs the wide receivers, needs that. I think that I personally think the Justin superstar elite top 5 quarterback ship is sailed. I don't think that's going to change on another team. I still think he can be a really good quarterback and that you can still win with him with an offense that is actually tailored for 2024. Now, what Bears fans are hypocrites, at the beginning of the year, we did say no more excuses. We said you got DJ Moore, you got Cole Kmet coming off a good year. Cole Kmet had a better year this year than he did last year. Got contract. And of course, obviously, we were expecting more from Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool. So I do think there's equal blame to go around on this one if I'm keeping my media hat on and not my fan hat. My fan hat wants me to be like, yeah, this nigga was in a shit situation from the jump, but he still should have shown more. I think that just from front to back, Justin Herbert's way better passer, but Justin Herbert has been a quarterback who's been in shitty ass offenses, but he's still shown more. And that's even why I've said which me and Dante were talking about on Monday, we argued about on Monday, I think the Lamar Jackson comparisons are asinine. The only thing that them two niggas got in common is them niggas can run. Lamar threw 36 touchdowns in year 2.
Y'all ready for this game? Y'all let me know when y'all ready. I found it.
Go ahead. Go to the next one.
December 17th against the Cleveland Browns. 40 passing attempts, 166 passing yards.
Okay,
Get out my face, man.
Two things.
The game where it's scored 36 screens?
Get out my face, man.
No,
that is atrocious.
First of all, you said 44. You said 44.
Okay, I'm sorry. I put a little seasoning on top. My bad.
Okay, now this was this year or this was his rookie year?
December 17th. This is a 2023 game log.
Okay,
that was the screen game. That was a screen game.
No, the screen game was Minnesota. The screen game was Minnesota. When niggas ran 15. So yeah, they did.
But this be my point, bro.
Only 40 plus in his whole career. But it's not even about the yards thing because Lamar, we'll be all anyway. Go to the next point, man. Go to the next point.
Oh damn, y'all. All right, my next point. Hey, bro. And again, I know we got some ops on the fucking line. Listen, man. Steph Curry can't keep getting away with this shit, bro. I hate to keep bringing up this fucking cuck on this fucking podcast, bro. But I'm sick of this nigga, man. The motherfucker choked again, bro. Listen, dog. He gets a fucking pass that I've never seen a superstar get. Like the amount of passes this nigga get. Did y'all see that shit last night, man? The motherfucker they gave you're Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all fucking time. Just can't never just shoot and hit a fucking shot in the clutch, bro. What are you doing? They gave you the ball. You fumbled the shit. You always doing some wild shit, bro. The motherfucker just turned the ball up. He let Harrison Barnes. I'm finna blow a fucking blood vessel. Listen to me, man. He can't keep getting away with this shit, dog. Like, stop putting them in conversations with the greats and all this bullshit, bro. Magic Johnson got a motherfucking highlight reel in game winners. This nigga's best highlights come when they up 15. That's when he starts shimmying and shit. So the nigga did a shot, a go-ahead shot. Was it against the Pistons? A go-ahead shot against the Pistons, and they lost the fucking game, bro. You shimmy. I'm sick of this shit, bro. Hold him accountable. Y'all are Steph stands. Hold him accountable, bro.
There's a couple things. One, Steph has a decent amount of regular season game winners.
Show me.
Number two, we're just gonna completely act like 2022 NBA Finals didn't happen.
The what?
The 2022 NBA Finals. We bodied them niggas.
He played fucking Lucky Charm, goddamn it, Dale Ellis in the finals.
Lucky Charm, Dale Ellis is crazy.
Is that what you're talking about?
Charm, Dale Ellis.
You just told me it was a fucking anomaly that the Lakers, because they ain't had no motherfucking centers. The whole West was dead. Okay, King Von, aka John Morant, left in the middle of the fucking series to go pop a Kia. You know what I'm saying? He said he got hurt. That nigga was out with the Kia boys and shit. He said, fuck basketball right now. Okay. Then the Suns are supposed to be that they choke. So we gonna go there. If you really want to go to 22, we can. But don't sit here and tell me the Lakers made it to the Western Conference Final on an anomaly. Because that motherfucking chip was sus as fuck, bro. The Clippers died. The Lakers died. Any one of them teams probably would have clapped them niggas. But go on.
And then number two, I think you want him to get the same shit that people give LeBron, right? When LeBron misses a game with him.
No, give him the same shit that people give fucking, I don't know, man, Joe Johnson or something, anything, bro. Y'all don't even talk about the shit, bro. Like, damn, it won't even get talked about. He just missed his game winner. Okay, well, I'm Steph, so it doesn't matter. Like, what the fuck, bro? He does not belong in the LeBron James conversation. Y'all critics, a lot of people a lot of people. I seen motherfuckers talk about if Steph win that series when we whooped their ass last year, we gonna see who greater all time. Shit like that.
There's a little thing called trolling.
Okay, I just want some accountability from the Stephanies. Y'all gotta fucking hold this nigga accountable, bro.
And then shout out Kyle in the group in the chat. He says he definitely got clowned on Twitter last night.
Yeah, by Lakers fans. That's it, bro. You want to see that shit on ESPN? Like, Stephen A should have fucking lit this nigga up. He ain't do what he do. He talk about LeBron, Lakers, Cowboys. That's what keep the lights on.
But like, why though? Like, okay.
Because you can't sit here and tell me the greatest shooter of all time, as y'all motherfuckers say, can't give me no game winners, bro.
First and foremost, he got
tweaks in the clutch. Do you know he has a consistent? This is not the first time he's done that this year, bro. Yeah, this is not the first time he choked in the clutch. He is a habitual clutch choker, my nigga.
First, that's a stretch. Go ahead, pal.
First and foremost, your name is Robert Knox. Shut the fuck up, bro.
First and foremost, last night they ran up the court. He got doubled. He actually should have swung it to Draymond, but his probably mind went, I can't swing this shit to Draymond. Yes, he lost the ball. The Warriors have been playing this season, but like what slander? What slander do you want the man to get? He a
all of it, nigga. All of it.
What is he supposed to like?
What are we saying here, bro?
What is he supposed to get, bro?
Can I ask you a question, man? If that's Paul George, okay.
BG hasn't done as much in the league as Steph Curry has, bro.
You're going to see the pandemic P drop. You're going to see all of that shit, bro. This nigga
Number
Steph
one,
just consistently gets away with it, dog.
Number one, PG hasn't done as much in the league as Steph Curry has. That's number one. And then
And
number
you know,
two,
and you prove my point. He would catch more slander for that, okay? Because motherfucker slandered the shit out of Paul George.
yeah, because he hasn't done because he makes himself very slanderable. Because
I
he
mean,
hasn't done
shit, yeah,
enough.
I get it. He hasn't fucking like went and got like KD and had another fucking Hall of Famer on the roster as well. I get it. Steph has 4 championships. You don't need to remind me about them shits. What I'm saying is hold him accountable. If he's the fucking best player in the world, bro.
Nobody
I'm
said
sorry,
he's
the greatest shooter of all time.
We are on a
greatest shooter of all time. Fucking, that's why Shea Gilgeous-Alexander hold that nigga, dropped the motherfucking IG disc post, and took his starting spot in the fucking All-Star game, nigga. Robert Knox. That's what the fuck happened. The greatest shooter of all time can't start over a 40-year-old man or a teenager. How about that?
Go to your final point, man.
My final fucking point. The Lions and Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. I don't give a fuck. Kiss my ass. I get it. They both the underdogs. Deebo Samuel's got to play, or that motherfucker Brock Purdy. He almost got his Chiefs clapped without one of his 5 all fucking pros on his team. If Deebo don't play that game, I don't give a fuck. Deebo could play. The Lions winning that fucking game, bro. And I don't believe in Kodak Jack. I think Pat Mahomes is going to clap him. I get it. I'm on the side of the Swifties. And I don't give a fuck. Y'all acting like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Bills are just supposed to demolish the Chiefs and all this shit, bro. Until you dethrone Pat Mahomes, I think fucking Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. So I'm just saying, bro. I ain't worried about that Ravens defense. I ain't worried about Roquano, country bumpkin ass. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, bro. I'm rolling with the Chiefs and the Lions. That's just what it is.
All right, man. This is definitely the best episode of Cousin Dan. Definitely.
You gotta come on more.
No, he has a segment on here. We'll be coming. And by the way, Mike texted me. He said that because Mike is gonna be on here soon. He says, "Oh, I'll save that when I get on the pod with the devil."
Bring your whole ass on here, Mike. Mike is a Caleb Williams guy, by the way. While he talking shit, he wants Caleb Williams. He just don't want to admit Scramble Boy is ass. Y'all don't want to admit it. Like, I don't understand, bro.
Objectively speaking, Scramble Boy is a hilarious nickname.
It's just hilarious. I just know Lucky Charm Dale Ellis is the most insane shit I've heard.
That's exactly what Jason Tatum was that series.
Dale Ellis is crazy.
That motherfucker just let Andrew Wiggins. How you wearing a Kobe arm sleeve, letting Andrew Wiggins dog you on both sides of the court?
He was playing with the basketball guys, with being a Celtic with Laker colors on, so we should know what's gonna happen right there. But Dan, let them know where they can follow you, man.
At Dan_Glorious on Twitter. That's all I got, man.
Definitely. We will be talking to you next week. So have a good weekend, Cuzzo.
Hey, I'm in H-Town next week, man. So
okay. So week after you'll be back.
Right. Or I can do the pod kind of lit on that Friday. I'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yep. All right,
we'll figure it out. All right, Cuzzo.
Man.
Yep.
All right. That was hilarious. That was definitely hilarious. We had a question here. I don't want to skip the question. But I definitely want to ask before Dan was on here because we've been on another 34 fucking minutes. It's a question for the panel. Without the 2 chips with the Warriors, is Kevin Durant career the same as Carmelo Anthony?
First and foremost, we have to stop doing this to Melo. Number one.
Yeah.
I
was about to say Melo damn near better.
We have to stop doing this to Melo. Number 2, no, it would still be better because Melo never was an MVP.
Yeah. And he still went to a finals even without the Golden State Warriors. So So shout out for the question. I didn't want to ignore your question, but I know my cousin, and we'd have been here for another 45 minutes if I'd have asked that while he was on here. Man, fuck this nigga Kevin Durant. But let's go to my goofy mug of the week, man. This one is kind of funny because this is kind of just off what Dan was talking about with Justin, which is kind of like the opposite of it, man. I feel like there's unfair criticism from Justin from the media, not by the fan, or even some fans, where it's just like, we don't have to lie about Justin because you want Caleb. Like, I'm at the point now where I said I want Caleb. I'm on Team Caleb. I've been on Team Caleb pause for 2 weeks. And I said my fear, I'm more worried. My fear is stronger that Justin's just a guy if we keep him than I am Caleb not working. So that's where I'm at. But we ain't got to go out here obviously lying about the man that's played, ignoring situations just because you want him on your team. Just say, look, it didn't work out with him. Whatever reason you want to give the work didn't work out with him. I want to go a new direction, and I want Caleb Williams. If you're a media person, just say, look, I just feel like it's the better fit. You ain't got to sit up here and lie. And I nothing pisses me off more when we having conversations about quarterbacks and niggas bring up quarterback win-loss record. If you really think it's Justin Fields' fault that these niggas are 10-28 since he's been there, you're a dumbass. You don't be watching these games. And honestly, I don't blame you if you don't want to watch the games. I'll be watching every game. Some of them I don't want to watch. So I don't blame you for not watching, but at least let us know that you're not watching and you're not saying dumb shit like that. Now, the second part of my Goofy Mog of the week, I'm giving it to the PFWA for giving Damar Hamlin the goddamn comeback player of the year. What the fuck are we doing? The nigga didn't play. In order to be comeback player of the year, you gotta play. He didn't fucking play. We had a segment on this show every week. We'd be like, oh, is he on the active list? No, he's on the inactives. Like, we understand it was a story a year ago. He's breathing and he's playing football. Amazing. But we ain't got to be up here and saying shit that he should be comeback player of the year. No, the fuck he shouldn't. Yeah, he said he didn't die either. Yeah, thank God he didn't die. So if you want to give the doctor award for the niggas who saved his life, I'm with it. But comeback player of the year, you got a lot of disgusting shit with that. Especially, he's one of the reasons them niggas lost last week. What the fuck was that? We talked about that shit last week. That ridiculous play. He said, tell me any nigga you know who died and came back on the football field. Shit, Michael Pittman, who got knocked out in the fucking Colts game a couple weeks ago. But yeah, man, it's nasty business. You know, also it's nasty that they got this nigga's number on the fucking ambulance when a nigga get hurt and they got to bring the ambulance on the field. I was like, come on, dog. If I was Damar Hamlin, I'm like, yo, y'all got to fucking
retiring me on the ambulance is insane.
Retiring the nigga on the ambulance is insane, man. So I'm giving my Goofy Mog of the week to the PFWA and the people who have, unfair criticism about Mr. Justin Fields, man. So that is all we have for y'all today. This has been a longer episode than I intended to be. But also that is because Cousin Dan went full Cousin Dan. And that's why I'm glad we had Pavy on here, because Pavy was one who could bring it out of him. So definitely, enjoyed that. Pav, thank you for joining us. You will be back on Monday for your first segment, Weekend in the Association. Glad to have you part of the weekly rotation on here. And we have another announcement next Friday for another segment, and we're going to announce our first sponsor, our first partner in the brand. So that'll be announced next Friday. Look out for that. Me and Dante are about to do I'm Not Gonna Hold You Overtime. We can pull up on the screen what we're about to talk about in the second hour. And if you haven't subscribed, $5 holla on I'm Not Gonna Hold You Patreon. We're gonna be talking about what should the Bears do with the number 9 draft pick. We keep hearing about what should be Caleb or should it be Justin. We're ignoring the fact these niggas got 2 top 10 draft picks. What should they do at number 9? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about these rumors about Zach LaVine. Could it be heading to Detroit? What could be coming back to the Bulls for that? Is there going to be a reunion between DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry? Now that Kyle Lowry has been traded from the Miami Heat and is rumored to be hitting the buyout market. And then we're going to talk Chicago Cubs. That is exactly how I feel, Dante. 100%. Then we're going to talk about Chicago Cubs. Have the Cubs striking out? Like, they went out there, gave a lot of money to Craig Counsell. A lot of the fan base was excited, rightfully so. They spend money here. That means they're going to make a move. They have not made a move since. All the big free agents, even the smaller free agents, like guys who I thought they were going to get, like a Reese Hoskins, have gone in division to the Milwaukee Brewers. So we're going to talk about, have they dropped the ball on that? We're getting ready to record that. So that will be up before the night is up on the Patreon, man. We appreciate y'all. And that is patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. If you just want I'm Not Gonna Hold You, subscribe to the $5 holla. I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier. If you want all of it, top 10, $10 for the Barber's Chair All Access, man. So that's all we got. You can follow Pavy at Pavy World on all platforms. Visit his website, pavverbs.com. He's got some new music coming soon. Check that out. Stay in tune with Hoops and Brews. Also on this network, y'all got a new episode out. Check that out. Follow Dante on Twitter at OctoberZoneTay. You can follow me on all platforms at BarbChat Scott. Y'all have a great championship weekend, and we're going to holler at y'all on Monday with the whole crew be back. Mikey will be back as well. We up out of here.